Sangria Yaokai, this Papa Figure, they play with the Papa, by Bobo Monsieur, by your mother. Yeah, in the hook like Jaya, when you are you floor, and the German not a funny, but you are the man who are man. Now I must say, but for him, where they get out for your man, you Mamma, the power, they am away, you get out for. I had him on your play, oh, yeah.
Papa Joe Feliz. I said, Dante Philippe. You know, I get me, you know, but I get me. When you have to buy look up, yeah. This I told you, well, never way, blah blah blah, and now, yeah, I am the yeah. Those like we are here. Play me out here. I get me women. The way I want your way and do the moon away your power. Yeah, I am on your blood in your back. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, my yeah. But everybody man, the chip, library. Doctor Bayeto, boy, everywhere. Maria, go ahead. But yeah, come down where you see, don't with this and no. C'est à Marcel. Boy, everybody, with the one you can boy, everywhere. Maria, everybody. Bouquet, you look like that. Can't you have a bouquet of papa? And then the buyer, you bought black company. Maybe too many muscle now. Gayajasia, I have them out.
Good evening, folks. Welcome. I'm Francis Ian Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. And this is how we're going to start the program this evening, taking you to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah, Ajapuya, so can you dear canal? Emeno, so Emeno. That fly, Yahuado, as a quagudi. No, I'm about to. Spi Laura, Spi Antoine, Keina Paul, Paul Wallace. Ako Joachim yo, go dey do a pa. Yeah.
Good evening. Our man, Mr. Dennis himself is in the hall. Good evening, Mr. Dennis. Hopefully you're doing very great. And of course, one of our prompt and valuable listeners, Achimo Frederick. Good evening. How are you doing this evening? A bit of fun and taking it little by little from the Empire State of New Jersey. Wilson Boyle, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Welcome to the show.
so that lady the mumble. Mama Kwan Ivana. You never know the walk on your ma. How point you? Papa pay your flashes. How point you? How point you? How point you? Yeah, how point you? How point you?
Let's hold it together. Together we can make a better deal. We can make a better Liberia. One less or one finger can pay less. You know the songwriters, they are so creative. Good evening and welcome to the show.
I'm a bonnet who are the who are the Bautu. Every year to make a Bautu, Mama. Eh, my dada, I hear no book for by liquor. Sayare Bangu. Yeah, go and say, by the gay. Those is one my game. Yeah, I'm a good guy. Yeah, gave our house so. Can you come on? And you the woman was a good guy. You room over. My one of them that do your card, you know. Papa, what do go home? Then what did I check here? With the one you can see. You're glad one guy, no more dear thing, yeah, open by I am more. And I ever hear that. Never the nose of where you go. I will say I made it, I buy it down. But I'm by your one. That's a young boy. She is quiet, some was there. The little power, Janet, you walk where you are about you. I was saying, I am more. Yeah, I'll play, 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 I got we go, you play, I'll play, I'll get my go, and I'll play, I'll play, I'll play, and I'll play, I'll play, yeah, man, I'll play, I'll play, I'll play, I'll play,
Okay, let me start this music here. Trying to do a little bit of house cleaning here. And hopefully the guests, hopefully you get the link. The link is sent out. Good evening, I'm Afonso Z, and so just bear with us. And I do us a favor and hit the share button if you will, so that we can have it. Folks, I believe I just sent it out again. So hopefully, folks, you get it, the guests. I just sent that link out. In the meantime, what I'm doing this. Okay, good. I think they are here, and very shortly we're going to get this program on the way. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Today we're going to have a little bit different conversation, but conversations of essence also here. We always like to go to the diversity, all sectors of of what is happening in Liberia. And so a group of Liberians been advocating for what is called dual citizenship. They'll be right here this evening, and we're going to be having a conversation. We are hearing the big carnival is on the way. So the question becomes what this celebration is all about. There are some saying, well, we got a dual citizenship, but the greater aspect is still lacking. So what are we celebrating? Good evening. To welcome Mediator, Mr. Guetta, man, legendary Samuel Abu is in the house. Mr. Gay is in the house. And of course, our senior contributor, Scholar Sese Goya. They're going to be coming in later on to bombard and question these guys here. Why are we celebrating? Why is this carnival is being planned? Well, let's get a conversation going. I'm Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to say good evening and thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Good evening. Thank you so much. Be a part-time or full-time. Well, the Carnival, Natty is going to start the celebrations according to the organizers, and they are here. And I'm wondering here in Spain, what are we celebrating? Thousands and schools of Liberians will still be left out of the cold. You either go inside Liberia if you want to vote. But equally, we must also give them kudos for how far they have come with this year. What is lacking? What is still remaining? What? They are here this evening. What we're going to be celebrating. The battle has been why not? And for so long, a little bit progress is being made because in 1973, a law that excludes the Liberian, those who hold citizenship outside of Liberia. You remember, you know, I know. If you were like me, as a result of the civil crisis, you left your country to survive, to sustain life. But here we are. This battle has been fought. We must also admit that. But it's a war of having this Carnival celebrations, celebrating current dual citizenship. The question, enough. Well, we will give them the opportunity. No convictions without trial. And this is what we do at Liberia Public Radio. Let me bring in the guys. They are here. The eminent Dr. Talbot, Vera Talbot. They have been very familiar faces on this network. If they go, they got to come back because there's something greater we need to talk about. Our own Ato Wiado, he's on the endless leave of absence for LPR. But yet and still, he's still showing face. Let me bring in Ato Wiado. Is that Mr. Wiado? Let me see. Good evening. Welcome. Let me bring in the other guests. They are already here. Let's see if we can do some little bit in housekeeping here. Let's turn to danger for caller here because we want to discuss some critical issue here. Let me bring in the guests. They are all coming here. Dr. Vera Talbot, eminent Emmanuel. I'm not sure. Eminent, are you in Liberia or are you in right here with us?
I'm in. Yeah, I'm here with you guys. I just got back.
Your no power. Power shortage or what?
No, I was in my car getting down.
Okay. If you sit with her, you can come and safe to come first here. We don't want to give our guys like smoke.
Yeah,
so let me just get you off. I'm quite sure you will be sitting with her very shortly and we can get to the point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it that way. Okay, I soon I get the image of Dr. Vera Talbot. I'm going to be bringing her in, I believe, her camera. I'm not getting your image, Dr. Talbot. If you are hearing me backstage, probably to turn your camera off. But let me see here. Let me make sure and get this name right. The President Lab. Is that lab the Liberian Association in Pennsylvania?
Yes, Sayandi.
Sayandi. Okay, Madam President. You see, to be in the White House is so nice. I say, man, back there. If you have any opening there, please let us know. Okay, let me see here. I think Dr. Vera Talbot is here. Let me bring her in. Yeah. Dr. Talbot, if you can elevate your camera a little, the camera so that we can get a. Oh, there we go. These are the voices and giants behind this dual citizenship, but now they are calling for celebration. What are we going to celebrate? Oh, we also give them the kudos. Gentlemen, ladies, good evening. Welcome. You are in the house of the Liberia Public Radio. We don't like without giving tryout and having maybe, if possible, grand jury. And the grand jury going to be our audience because since we send out this to everybody concerned, what are we celebrating? What are they talking about? Somebody already told me it's part-time citizenship. Don't take me off my word. That's the views and opinions of our follower. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Very familiar faces, but every day and now people pass through on this network. So it is a way of giving people the opportunity to have their self-introductions and we can get right down to the wire. So let me start with my man. Let the care ear own baby. After we are told.
Yeah. Yes, so thanks so much for having us on the show, for having me on the show today. to discuss about our event, the Dual Citizenship event. My name is Ato Wiado. I am an advocate, former 210 Secretary General of the Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas, EULA, and a very staunch member of the Liberian Community Association, Liberian Community Association of the Washington metropolitan area. As we serve our term, well, there was a struggle.
Are you listening to something? I'm getting a terrible
No,
feedback.
it's not me, not from me.
Okay, if anybody listening to something else, you want to mute that just in case, so that we'll make sure. Okay.
Not from me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm here for us to let our public know what we are here for. So again, thanks for having me on your show.
All right. What the public needs to hear. A lot is at stake. Let me go to Dr. Vera Talbot. Good evening. Your mic is muted. You gotta. Let me see. I don't think it's from my end.
I got it now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. Much better. Thank you so much.
I'm so sorry. I'm challenged by all this technology.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm Vera Talbot. I am a member here of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania. So, of course, I'm part of EULA. And I've been on the All Liberian Dual Citizenship Committee for the past, well, many years. I can't even count. And we are very excited, of course, what has happened. And that's why we want to do this celebration, because it has been a fight for the past, I would say, 12 years, trying to make this happen. So the committee, under the leadership of Eminent Wetty, is very pleased that we have, come to this point in time in history. So we think after such a long fight and hard work, it should be celebrated. So I'm Vera Talbot, member here and very active in Philadelphia with the Liberian Association. And it's great to be on your show. Thank you.
Okay, we have to be celebrated. Let's see who can validate that celebration. Let me go to the president herself, see her smiling. In the Vanguard, again, good to have you here. Good evening, Madam President, and welcome to the show.
Good evening and thank you. I see my video is moving a lot. I don't know whether can you see me clearly and hear me clearly?
Yeah, I don't know what you're using. Is it possible to make your device, if it is a phone, to make it horizontal in the landscape phone so that we can?
Okay, let me see.
Let's do it that way. There you go.
Now we have a sideways.
Maybe I can move you on the screen when it's facing back.
Yeah.
Let me move you. Just fix it. You're still hearing me. Just fix it in the background. Okay, let me see. I think there's.
Okay.
Uh-oh. All right. Well,
I seem a little more stable now.
Okay. Yeah, much better. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let me see here.
I'm sitting here.
Is here as well. Emina, what are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How you guys doing? Good to see everybody. Dr. Talbot, the one and only Ato Wiado. I see our president, DND, and it's always an honor to be on your show. I'm here.
Okay. Good to have you here. Thank God. God is money me. I'm quite sure God money out of you guys. Okay, guys, let's come to the conversation here. First of all, I want to say thank you to the group. I believe it's not a done deal yet, but I mean, little steps has been taken. It's a hard fight because this is a complete political issue. I'm not sure what is feedback is coming from. Is anybody listening to something?
No. Maybe I should leave and come back in.
Yeah, I think. Okay, let's do it that way. Let's see what the system. Maybe the audio. Let me just get you off, and then you can come back. Still there?
It's still there.
Yeah, I'm still getting that. Let me see. Mr. Doe, let me move you on. Hello? Wow, something not right. Let me move you guys and see where. Am I still getting feedback? I'm not getting feedback from my end, so obviously, let me see here.
Do you want me to mute myself and
Okay.
see what happens?
Okay, Dr. Talbot, you sound very great. Let me see here after we are done.
Okay.
Mr. Doe.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, let's see. We'll try to do an elimination process here and see where the problem is. Okay, I think much better. I'm not hearing feedback here, but let's see who started talking and we can do it. Okay, let's see here and who wants to go first. I don't want to be the one to start calling you come in here. I believe it's a collective teamwork on your part here. I bring up to speed. Besides what we have now, who wants to take the lead? How far dwells
Dr. Tova will take the lead. She's the head of the committee.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Towers. Now they did not cast the whole thing on you here. Okay, I'm hearing here saying the beautiful flyer that was just on before we finished here celebration, which I think it was a carnival at all as
I
well.
think you're having a noise.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's coming from. I don't know what it's the health. Is it? Something is not right. Something is not right. I'm getting somebody listening to the device. Okay, let's see if we can make it work here. But so probably we can just mute ourselves for now, those especially if you're not talking, so that
I'm muting myself right now.
Okay. Then after we are done too, let me see, we're on the side and I can control. Okay, Dr. Talbot, are you there? You have been mandated to take the lead.
Okay, I was hoping Emna White would take the lead, but as chair of the committee right now, I'll speak. So we have planned a wonderful event here in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection in Philadelphia, of a night of wonderful celebration for a great achievement after 12 years of, I won't call it a fight, but after 12 years of practically trying to get our people in Liberia to understand that this, this dual citizenship will benefit all of us. And we're very happy they've come to that point where they understand the importance of this collaboration and having us, get the dual citizenship. Because when you think about it, we all came to this country at a very difficult time, and we've never forgotten Liberia. We live in this country for many, many years. I've been here for over 25 years. I've lost count. But we never forgot Liberia. We've always tried to give back, and we've always tried to go home and make sure we contribute. And it has been very disheartening to hear sometimes how our own people have said to us that we wanted this dual citizenship to take their jobs, and when we were the people that were going and trying to make sure jobs were created for them and, opportunities were created for them. So I'm happy. I know everybody still don't understand what's going on, or still do not agree with what is happening. And I know there's still some of our people on this end that's still not very happy with some of the terms that they've heard. But let's look at it as the first step towards something great, and we can celebrate it again in the city of Philadelphia with the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania under the leadership of Sayani Kofa. We're going to be the host here in Philadelphia to host and welcome all of you to come and celebrate a wonderful, wonderful achievement and a wonderful time to say to our brothers and sisters in Liberia, we are all one, and we're happy that we can come to some understanding to let us all realize that coming home will be easier on a lot of us here, and it will save us quite a bit of money. It'll make us come home even, quite often. And when things are a little more easy now, I've heard quite a few people that travel home recently, They said it was a wonderful thing just traveling on their Liberian passports and didn't have to get a visa, and that's a great thing. I'm not sure how the embassy feels about that being a great thing, but we can discuss that later. But so this is a great time and a great time to celebrate a wonderful event, and we hope that you all will come out together and just have an evening of wonderful experiences and talking with guests that we're expecting from Liberia, from the embassy in DC. So we're expecting a lot of people from out of town, from outside, to come to the city of Philadelphia and celebrate with us. So again, it's March 25th at the Oaks Ballroom in Glenolden, and pretty much not far from where I live. So it's a beautiful place where we can come and just celebrate a wonderful event. Thank you.
Celebrate a wonderful. Ato we adore.
Ato we adore, and I have been part of this advocacy for dual citizenship for some time. And even before I became Secretary General, my Secretary General just testified, my advocacy. And historically, Liberia is changing. Liberia is changing. There are a lot of things that we before some of us that lived around Talbot, the late Totborn time, and Talbot. You see, if you look at Liberia and look at Liberia today, you will see the uniqueness of the country, but the kind of vast differences, you see in the country in terms of the social political atmosphere. So uh, some of us love researching, and we got to know about the Alien and Nationality Act. That were enforced before the 1973 Alien and Nationality Act that were enforced. When Senator Manston, J. Hood Manston, and Dr. Lloyd made their presence on the stage about that alien nationality and making reference to its alienating natural born Liberians. I think it was a wake up call for us, and then converging in Washington D.C. in Maryland for that matter in Tacoma Park around 2012. It just intensified again our resolve that indeed dual citizenship from this standpoint of our elders. I think it is necessary that indeed we advocate for dual citizenship. But mind you, there was a striking point during this whole advocacy, about dual citizenship, when in fact the national legislature deny a Liberian who left all of her professionalism in the United States, went back home to serve her country. And when she was serving, they nominated her to be president of Totman University. Dr. Elizabeth Davis Russell. When our brethren in the national legislature denied her, when they asked her,
we will come to the details.
Yeah.
Hold your peace. We will come to some of those things. Yes. Okay. Let's see the president here. The law is on the head of the president. She's going to be the host. We all know this is a political issue. There's a divided house. There are some things. In fact, we shouldn't get it. They have their own defense line for which they are making the argument. Madam President, let me just bring you in here. Good evening. Thank you. It looks very great. You're going to be hosting this evening here, and it's a divided house. How are you finding it to navigate through the process in terms of convincing, making it Liberian? Somebody just tweeted this is a part-time citizenship, so perhaps not to put just to add up to his word, we shouldn't be celebrating. I'm not going to be voting if I'm a citizen. Yes, I'm going to be going to Liberia. I can, maybe there's no visa fee. Let's set the tone here. Perhaps he or many others are not getting what is happening here. Why we should celebrate? How are you going to execute this program?
Well, thank you. Thank you for bringing me on. Sayende Kofa Kumate is my name. I'm the president of the Liberian Association of the State of PA. And I just got elected in August of last year, and actually just getting involved much more, with the politics of the association or the Liberian environment around here. But I have been following. I remember in 2017, I think when they had a conference in DC, I did attend that conference because I was interested in knowing what's the issue of this, dual citizenship. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't think it was an issue. It was an issue, but I knew it was when people, at the time I hadn't had my citizenship as an American, but people were talking about, how difficult it was. And some people were getting frustrated about buying a visa. I'm sorry. Let's disable my phone. Buying a visa in order to go to Liberia. Well, I had a Liberian passport. I'm like, well, why do we, why is it so difficult a process? People were always complaining that they thought there shouldn't be any reason why people should get a visa to go back to their country. So, I got interested in that and started following what was going on. But the situation here, especially with Liberians here in the state of PA, was that they didn't understand why. They didn't want to accept the reason why, they can't still be Liberians, and even as they come up to be a citizen of the United States and free to go back home, and some of them were not really looking for jobs. Well, the people that were looking for jobs had a problem, but some of them, they felt they were free to go home and buy the land and stay. It's their country after all, but they didn't understand that there was a law on the book that has certain restrictions on them, And so when this issue of the dual citizenship started up with the committee and other members like them trying to explain that it's important that it be rectified on the books of the, Liberian law, and it started, catching people's attention. And so when I started announcing about the celebration of the dual citizenship, a lot of them were happy, especially when I said, we started explaining to them that, this would make you to not buy a visa anymore. Once you're a Liberian and you have a Liberian passport, you can just visit Liberia. And, they were like, oh, okay, so at least it's a step forward, But some of them read the whole document and are still skeptical about the issue as to why there are certain clauses. I said, well, you walk before you crawl before you run, little by little, We don't live there, we live here. And the people who there feel they have certain rights, and sometimes that we are, we just come out from our diaspora, various countries and go back. We're probably going back to take their jobs or to take certain things from them, but they feel they have so much right to it. But the right they don't know and they don't understand is your birthright to your country. You didn't sell, it's your country, is where you were born. Everybody at some point in time want to have that sense of belonging and going back home and comfortably living in the country. But, there are laws that restrict you from doing certain things, but we will get there, but this is the first step. So let's accept the first step of the fact that, we all know we are Liberians now, we can free to go back home, without getting a visa or asking permission for anybody to go back home, and the rest will follow. So people are anxious to know the details of it all, and they're anxious to come to this celebration to see what's going to happen on that day and understand it, So it's where we are.
Okay, where we are. Let me go to Dr. Talbot. Dr. Talbot, she rightfully said, and it's quite true because I think we had an interaction here before with this whole dual citizenship here. Dr. Talbot, like Actor Joe said, there was a change in game. Let me see what I can mute it by. There was change in game as a result of 2019 when the Supreme Court ruled out the visiting girl. People not denying, but this has been a long fight. Why it was so much? Why it took so learned. What was I just want to give our audience a backdrop. We're going to come to the celebrations and all of the thing, but maybe there are some pieces left out. People still find it very difficult to understand why people say like, oh, you like people go there to go find job, they always hanging with every president that come is not actually in the interest. What was the hitch up in this whole thing here? You being in the vanguard with this whole thing, why was it difficult to get the convincing aspect here until we got to this point? What was lacking? Just unmute your mic.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Loud and yeah, good. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hitch was. I think there are a lot of reasons why people stayed a long time to be convinced. And one of them, when I mentioned, people said we're coming to get their jobs. And then there were some other reasons where people made a statement and said, well, you people will get dual citizenship and and if anything happens in Liberia, you can just grab your bags and you run back to the US and leave us here to suffer, and so I think that, there have been a lot of, everybody have their personal reasons why they didn't want it. What really used to really bother me was the fact that you had the senators and the representatives all actually being against it. And I said to myself, I couldn't figure why. But I think it also led back to the fact that they were concerned that we were coming back to get the jobs.
Insecurity, for sure. Insecurity, which is more or less their job.
Right? Yes, exactly. And just to make something clear, I really am not interested in coming back to Liberia for jobs. If anything, I'm interested in coming back to Liberia to help to see what I can give back to Liberia. And that is, I think that's the main thing for a lot of Liberians.
How somebody we discuss some critical issue here. You give back without necessarily a job. So how will you be giving back?
Oh, my plan was to once I retire here, my plan was to go back and teach at the university, and didn't have to do it for once I'm financially secure here. I don't think I would need any money in Liberia to be able to give back. I was ready to go back to Liberia and teach at a university. I was offered a position from Tucker University some time ago. I was doing the Ebola time. I turned it down because it was just a very bad time to quit my job here and go to Liberia. I thought that it was just dangerous. And then I was in contact with the University of Liberia also, wanted to go and get a position at a few years ago. They dropped the ball. So I think it's their loss and not mine. So there's a lot of, there are a lot of people here trying to form foundations. My sister went back to Liberia about 5 years ago. She has gathered the neighborhood together so much that she got all of us here supporting those kids. She got about 20 or 25 kids that she's paying the tuition. She calls us for money. We helping. So those are the kind of things we want to give back to Liberia. And it just hurt when people would say, you want to come here and take our job when they didn't realize we're coming back to give back. Liberia is our home. And I remember the beautiful years I spent in Liberia as a kid, growing up, going to school. And those were wonderful years. And you leave and you go back and you see all the destruction. The first thing that comes to your mind is, how can I help? What can I do? A lot of my friends that have been back and forth, they come back and they're in tears. Vera, we have to get together and do something, whatever that something is. I haven't started anything major, but now my sister is home. Of course, I support everything she's been doing. I work with all the alumni associations, with the College of West Africa. We're doing a lot for CWA. The University of Liberia now, the organization is great. So we're doing a lot for the university. So there are a lot of ways we're giving back. So it just hurt when someone would say, you're coming to take away from me. I'll give you a simple example. There's a young man I know who got his MD, PhD. He thought when he was done, he used that time between starting his internship, and he used it when he was done. Before he started internship, he said, I'm going to go back home and just spend a little bit of time home. He went to the university and went straight to the lab and said, I'm here. I want to help you set up your labs and do certain things. Everybody got so tense, and there was a pushback. What does he really want? They did not rest. They ran him out of there. And he called me when he got there and said, Vera, he said, I will never go back. Now, here's a man with an MD, PhD that was ready to go and be one of probably the greatest doctors in Liberia, and they ran him out. So that fear, and like you said, that insecurity that is within our people, it's really unfortunate that we have gotten to the point where we can't see each other as brothers and sisters. We see each other as enemies. And I know the war did a lot, but my God, if we don't get back to some kind of reconciliation and get our country back on track, we will drag along and be known as one of the poorest, and dirtiest country. That's some of the things that happen in the news. We've been known for that. And when we have a lot of professional Liberians in this country that are giving so much to the U.S., they could be giving that to Liberia. But when someone said you can't come here and you know more, you've lost your birthright. A lady, I was at a meeting when a lawyer from Liberia was trying to promote and former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's 30-year vision, some project she had going on. When we were at this meeting, this lady actually said to us, you guys are sitting here and your people in Liberia got all the land, and your brothers and sisters are taking all that land, nothing for you. You will lose everything. People at that meeting started to cry, and they were so upset. So there was fear also, you're a natural born Liberian citizen, and the fact that you naturalized in this country, that you are losing your property and everything in Liberia was never going to be yours anymore. I'm not even going to say it's a scary thing. It's an unfortunate thing, and it hurts. It hurts.
I mean, that's true. I've been there. I have those sort of conversations. Insecurity seems to be, and I think politicians have been very successful to press into muddy this water tie. And so there's a great disconnect here. And the reason, hopefully, we can be having this conversation consistently, even though it would be repetitive in doing it, because there's a gap here, and who is causing that? Who is creating the sort of bitterness and resentment? Because when they see you, hey, how you doing? The first thing, you're here to stay. When they ask that question, when you say yes, there's a different tone in there. So now the question becomes, is this committee? I'm saying committee because you guys are sticking in the vanguard of getting this here. Is enough conversation? We will come to this ball and other things, but we need to clean around the surroundings so that people will grab the concept, and those who are in doubt will understand how this thing has been playing out and what is a good thing. Is there more conversation in the making to let our brothers and sisters know? And especially the guys, the folks on Capitol Hill, I think they are all helped to prolong and create this thing here. And been heavily supported by the electorate themselves. These people in the what you said. The only thing we are good on when there's a trouble, every day, they know people pay time. That one, forget it. Every other weekend, they know it. They know when you're filing in taxes and all where you're going to get money. No issue with that. Nobody going to raise a concern with that. But when it comes to somebody who is competent, who is qualified, want to go and give back, and then your own people are like literally driving you out because all of you didn't stay in the struggle, or all of you should die. I don't get it. There's some sort of disconnect here, and I think we need to figure out what really is happening. After we are done, hopefully eminent he will come in here. Is it that because of politics is also being inserted into this? There are other school of thought who say, well, this whole EULA thing is all about gaining political relevance, and that has become a stimulant on this whole effort of EULA too. Is that a component that is also holding back this thing yet? And let me see.
It's easy, and so politics will always show face in something good. It will always show face in something good. And one thing I do know is that advocacy, as we always say, is a process. It is not an event. And even in the great United States today, there are many issues that people still discuss and talk about and advocate for today in the United States. You said something that we've been repetitive. We will always be repetitive because we want something. We will always knock to people's door. The politics in Liberia today has changed immensely. So what we need to do now is to double our efforts. I have the faith that indeed there is no turning back in our advocacy, like we did for the dual citizenship issue that we are trying to celebrate today. I will bringing in Dr. Russell issue when
Mhm.
this dual citizenship intensified, when the national legislature asked her whether she was an American citizen. She didn't shove anything under the rock. She said, yes, I am, right away. The confirmation hearing of that lady. I mean, a Liberian, a professional Liberian who went to Liberia to contribute to the growth and development of education, higher education in the country. They dropped the confirmation hearing. They never considered that lady because she said she was, she is an American citizen. So we will continue to discuss this. We'll continue to talk this. But one thing that I do know is that acquiring dual citizenship today, it was the efforts of conscious Liberians. And I will also hail those who are still in doubt because we have to educate them as to why it is important that we have this. We have Ghanaian friends, we have Sierra
Mhm.
Leone, right in our neighborhood, Sierra Leone. I won't go to Ghana, Sierra Leone, all right? They do have, all right? So with Liberians having dual citizenship today, and people will still play politics with it, they have to, because we have to educate them why it is important that we should celebrate this victory for dual citizenship. All right? You can get your Liberian passport now and go to Liberia and register. If you meet the criteria of the Election Commission, you can register to vote. But you can't use your American passport and go to Liberia and say you want to vote. All right? So the national legislature now has a work to do, and we are not even setting. That is why we want to have this particular victory celebration. And the funds that we raise for this victory celebration, we have other country voting to do. That some of
Mhm.
us already started negotiating for.
Okay,
You
let me
know, these
bring
are some
in
of the things that we advocate is a continuous process. And Liberia in the diaspora will have more to offer our country. And the rightful thing that we want to do is to make sure that all Liberians in the diaspora should be able to go to their country and have, have land and vote there freely. And in fact, we can open our out country voting pools here. I know the out of country voting will be done. As we celebrating the victory of dual citizenship today, we will be celebrating one day. We'll be celebrating out of country voting.
other country
But the
voting. That's
politics will
one
still
of the
be
key
there.
component.
The politics will be there. The greed, the hatred against us that some of us have high credentials to carry to our country. We've been advocating for our people. We've been praying hard for our people. We've been talking to our brothers and sisters in the national legislature. Some of them see reason. That is why we are talking
So
about
let me
veterans
hold
today.
you there. Our high credential. Were you talking to an ordinary Liberian, someone down there in the slum? Is that a conversation? Don't you see that being condescending
My
and perhaps
relative is my
me?
relatives are in the slum. My relatives are in the slum. They're so happy that Adam Gado has a high degree credentials. They are happy.
Was it
They
an
feel they have
ordinary person who don't see it that way? So what I'm seeing here, we got been very convincing, telling them the good of this dual citizenship, which is good. The reason you see this country today is the integrations of immigrants and these people, the technology. That's why you see this country here. Are we having the foreign as well?
We are having a conversation.
We'll make this argument today.
We are having a conversation with our people. You know, it is not the common man. I must tell you. Let me be upfront with you. It is not the common man. For the common man, they are happy when they see us back home.
Okay, quickly before I go to Madam President here, who are those people? Who is not a common man? Who are those?
These are our own brother who are educated, like ourselves, who think that we have more credentials than them in the country. They are afraid. That's why it took so long.
But interestingly, it seems very people, some of them were here, they were in the somersault. Let me go to Madam, hold your peace. We'll come to Dr. Tower. Let me go to the President, Madam President. Let me just bring you in here. Do you think we still have more to do in terms of creating to be more connected with the people and tell them and be a more listener to hear their side of the story, be persuasive in our argument with respect to this citizenship? And I quite agree with what Dr. Topo said. They look at one component aspect. To come here, you want to take our position. Where is the job? Where is the job that the other people they're taking, the people who are not even supposed to be citizens, they're giving it, and we've seen it all playing out here. But you and I born there because of war. We went to Ivory Coast, Ghana, Guinea, different places, like a roving ambassador, and eventually ended up here. People are doing extraordinary work, making financial contributions, interventions in different forms and shape, but they still just do not get it. So there is something here that is lacking.
Yeah.
Celebrate it. What do you think that we need to do in terms of us putting this thing to a rest once and for all?
Well, I think eventually they will. And let me go back a little bit before the war, before the civil crisis. Nigerians, a lot of them weren't educated about the dual citizenship law. People were traveling, in other countries and comfortably going back, and people were happy to receive them, and people were happy that people were coming back to the country, bringing in their expertise, and we even welcome foreigners to come in, and I think we made some of them citizens in order to stay and contribute to our country. So I don't know what happened. I think the population has grown, and somewhere down the line, our representatives in the legislature dropped the ball by making it to seem as if it was wrong for someone who left the country for obvious reason to find a better living to return, and because they have the jobs there and the person is coming with so much experience and expertise to give back, the person is coming there to take their place, so they wanted to reinforce that law. I think that's where the ball dropped. And when you take that kind of idea to the common people and they buy it, and then that's why I think the common people and people around started saying, oh yeah, these people, they left us here, now they're coming back. I think that's where it all started from. And now, in order to fix it, because it was into law, it had to go through the same legislature, and enforce the law and make people to understand it. Now, how do you get back to the masses and explain those people you were telling, these people are just coming back, to discourage them from welcoming the people back home, to discourage them from having people to come in the country, even our own libraries to invest, And so they started finding ways to keep people away. And like you say, and some of the other people started feeling insecure that people were coming in to take their jobs. But not only that, but they figure out, okay, if they can't come and have certain jobs because they're so qualified, then they can't stay because of the standard of living, they will eventually go back. So it will come out one day. I mean, I think it was settled into everybody, but this is a step forward. And when they understand this, that, we are all Liberians, we mean no harm, we came out. I think, like I said in my speech the other day, apparently our people have forgotten the reason why some of us left the country. and it's only rational to come out and decide to improve yourself, you know. And we came, and some of us decided to go to school and learn other things, and we want to go back and give to our country. I mean, there shouldn't be any law so stringent to the point that, you know, we be thinking twice about doing that. Other countries around us are doing it. They are enjoying the passenger of things that they are having from other countries and things that they saw. I mean, and I say I enjoy the services and the beauty and everything and what else has went into other countries. And that's the reason why we want to go back and make sure our country is up to that standard. So there shouldn't be too much long fight. But I mean, eventually the people would know as we have come to this step forward to know that we are coming back in good faith. Is our homeland, is where we're from, because there's a part of us, a part of everyone that always wants to go back home. So, you know, eventually they will get to it, you know, but this is a good step forward since it was into law and the law needed to be changed. I wonder why so many years ago we are just coming to this point, but it is what it is, and I believe we will go forward.
We are getting there. Let me go, Dr. Pablo here. Dr. Tuba, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I want to set a stage out there to maybe to add a little bit appetite to the planned program. There are other things people want to hear. Liberia and the group broke the chain, like Tunisia, Guinea, and other places who are not even allowing that. Liberia got out of that a little bit. What is the next layer? Is there any conversation in as much you want to come over to celebrate? One of the key components is, okay, wait a minute. I don't necessarily have to go Liberia to go vote. I could stay here to vote. Is that conversation in the making now, or are we waiting? We just want to celebrate now and put that into areas. Is that conversation in the making? If it is in the making, is there some sort of people are listening, are buying that aspect from national government, lawmakers, and all of that? Are you having that conversation at this point as we speak?
Yes, we have. We are having that conversation. And as a matter of fact, there is a subcommittee from the Dual Citizenship Committee right now working on that other country voting, because we don't think our the work has ended once we get this going, because there's still a lot that has to be done. We're still all living in this country, and we still want to be a part of Liberia. So of course, that next conversation is how can we continue to participate in everything Liberian while living abroad and still trying to contribute to Liberia. So of course, that other country voting right now is in the research stage. We have a committee already working on it. We have a couple of lawyers doing the research and also what they're doing, because people keep saying it's never going to happen. You guys can't do it. Oh, come on now. So are we going to say we're that limited Liberians that we can do what other countries are doing? Other countries are already doing it. They're doing other country voting, and and of course the dual citizenship, they've had a long time. We've seen the success of it with those countries, including our dear country and next to Ghana. So we've seen all of that happen, and we would say as Liberians we're not capable or smart enough to be able to do it. Or I think not. So those conversations are already happening. I think this celebration is just to say after 12 years of fighting,
Not to interrupt you, 12 years, are we going to go another 12 years to get to this other one again?
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope the fact that this has already happened and people start to see the benefits of what has taken place, they will realize the benefits of our country voting and not put a pushback, and a stop to it. Let me say I'm very optimistic. I don't think it's going to take 12 years. I don't think it's going to take that long because, as we've been working along, people that did not believe in what was happening have come on board. So I think that you have much more believers now in what is happening, and have seen it taking place, because I've sent a lot of personal texts to people, and I'm surprised at the responses that I've been getting. Oh, you guys did a great job, or this is so nice, this is such a great thing. Wow, it really did happen. So people now will believe in what has happened, and they realize, okay, something good can come from a committee like the Dual Citizenship Committee, and something good can come for our people in Liberia. So of course that conversation is already happening, and if we're able to get any extra money from this celebration, that is going to be thrown right into out of country voting to see how we can move forward and make sure that happens very soon. So we're talking about it.
Very soon. You want to add something? Very shortly, our panelists, contributors, they're going to be joining us here. We always like to keep the conversation proportional, giving everybody the fair share, and perhaps we'll throw numbers here. I think it's the best thing to let it hear directly from the houses here. That's why we are all here. But you want to add to what Dr. Topper said? Anything to add? Let me see. Check your mic. Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, much better.
We are not only celebrating the victory, but we are recognizing people who have been in the advocacy business of dual citizenship.
Yes.
People who have contributed immensely into our victory. All right. So, despite the fact that we're having this particular event, but there are other moving parts that will be going on in terms of recognizing people. I probably, Sionzo, man, you've been doing a good job for us, having us on your show. I don't know as to whether you even having your letter now. If you have not had your letter yet, I think I would recommend your name to the committee for you to get a letter. I serve as secretary of the committee, so I'm the pen pusher for the committee. I can convince the committee. We'll give you. But man, this thing here is out of our business. The news outlet, the Liberian news outlet, the LPR-TV, the FOL. I mean, all of the guys who had these platforms, they did extremely well. We have to recognize the kind of contribution they made to this victory. So yes, indeed, we are not only having this event just for us to go and and dine and whatsoever, but we'll be recognizing people, even from the Republic of Liberia, from Europe, Canada, Ghana. And I'm not talking about the U.S. now because people are already here. As I said, Giozo, you my dear brother and friend. We've been in this show business for quite some time. I think if I can recall, I used to be on the show with the Health Talk with Adriado. I see. So, my man, just look through the mail, your email, probably may see your letter. Thank you so much for all of the contribution that you have been making and towards pushing this particular victory for dual citizenship.
That would not negate the fact of asking the question. I see the letter here. So this is how you politicians can dilute serious conversation. Now you're trying to put something in my throat down to say, oh, okay, I think let me just run with it here. Okay, all right. So we're having this conversation for the group, so kind of like to rest most of these apprehensions. So Dr. Tobo, is there in this committee, are you coordinating with national government to make sure that the security apparatus and all of those that are involved with processing of people getting in, that there should be no problem? And if so, what is the level of cooperation thus far since this whole dual citizenship came into effect?
Okay, I hate to steal this from Eminaweti. I don't know if he's still on.
I don't know why his camera is off. That's why I'm not bringing his kind of like, I think some. Okay. Let me see. Eminent, if you are hearing us, if you can turn your let's see. Now he turned his camera. Oh, I don't know. He wasn't sure what I was. Eminent, what?
Because I would love to turn that over to Eminaweti, who was very instrumental in making sure, our partners, those that have been working with us from Liberia, would be here. So, Eminaweti?
Yes. Thank you very much. I must say I'm enjoying the show. I appreciate the previous speaker, Dr. Toba, after we are doing our presidency. Indeed, they're doing a great job, and I don't think I can do more than what they did. But just to add, we have invited some senators, representatives, and we are invited. Our chief honoree will be the legal advisor, Councilor Archibald Bona, And we have people from Ghana, people from Canada, Australia to come for this occasion. Like after we had mentioned, not only that the celebration, we will be having recognition of people who went the extra mile. Some people travel to Liberia, they did other things. And we'll be recognizing those people and, just to celebrate and to say, look, this is something that happened in the diaspora. This is just the beginning. Previous speakers said, our case is it's not an event, it's a process. So that's what we get to do, to appreciate people and tell them, say, look, this is just the first step and we can do more. On the issue of the country voting, Dr. Toba made it very clear. We have a subcommittee headed by Chairman Afrisier, who is working on that, and that will be pretty much the next focus. We want to appeal to everybody to please come and support our purchase a ticket and come and support the effort. You know that whatsoever money we get from this thing will go to other advocacy in the future.
Okay, we're being joined by, joining this conversation, of course, is a senior contact analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, our own Sissy Goya, tweeting and crazy out there here. Let's bring in a house here. So let's see what happened here. But before Sissy comes in here, Eminent, I was asking the coordination aspect with national government, the security apparatus, in understanding Liberians with citizenship now going. What are some of the issues still there? If it is there, obviously it's not going to be an overnight thing to stabilize it, but are you guys, is it being monitored to observe? Are you getting some feedback with Liberians in terms of the reception thus far?
Well, I want to be on record, and I wanted to be very loud and clear that the government relationship with us is very good. It was due to the working relationship that we've been working with the government, that the both houses, the both chamber of the National Legislature managed to pass the law and passed the bill and was signed by law by President Weah on July the 22nd, 2022. President Weah signed that law. And after the law was signed, after the bill was signed, the law now is the lord of the land. We met the immigration boss. We met the deputy minister for legal affairs, foreign ministry, and I can say for the record, you can quote me that you can take your Liberian passport, go on a plane, go to Liberia, coming back, just give the immigration officer both your Liberian passport and your Australian passport, your American passport. They will stamp your book and you can get right back on the plane. You cannot get your American passport or any issue, no problem. You can go to Liberia, you can get a national ID card. I mean, this thing are opening tremendous doors for many things. Because of the result of this thing, the embassy have decided now to open many passport centers across the globe. So as Liberian, you are entitled now to your passport. So in terms of the coordination, we have very good working relationship. We have the partnership. We've been working as partners since 2012. I think Dr. Toba mentioned that. We have this all.
Can you elevate your camera, please?
Okay, so good. Yeah, this all Liberian conference, it started in 2012, where diaspora leaders met in Washington, D.C. Eula, Colosua, EFLA from Europe, the Australian, the Canadian, and from Ghana. We met in 2012, and we said, look, our front goal is to get dual citizenship. We understand all of the politics, but when we meet, it will all be about dual citizenship. So that's what we've been working on. So we meet every Sunday at 3 o'clock, and we've been working together. So there's the coordination is done through the All Liberian Conference on dual citizenship, and everybody bring the input, and we execute what the partners say.
Yeah, quickly here before I bring in my guys, I did hear you saying when you go into Liberia, because we want people to get a good takeaway from this conversation here, and we hope to be having this conversation on a regular basis. When I'm going to Liberia, if I have an American passport, I can get the Liberian passport here, right?
Yes.
And use my Liberian passport to go to Liberia. When I'm
Yes.
coming back, both passport has to be shown to the immigration authority to stamp it in order to allow me entry as a American, for example.
Yes, correct. So when you get now, the airline law, you can't present two passports to the airline.
Right.
Okay. So you take your Liberian passport and go through the airport in the United States.
Okay.
You go through, when you get to Liberia, you show your Liberian passport to the immigration. You don't have to show your other passport. Show your Liberian passport, and you go through and get out. When you're coming back, all you have to do is to show both passports. Because remember now, your American passport was not stamped to show your time of entry.
Yeah. Right.
So you have to show the Liberian passport that will show that you did enter, and the immigration man will actually stamp your book for you. And that was done with our meeting with the immigration boss. We met him on many, many occasions, and I had these things based on the result of our meeting. It happened. And
So
go ahead.
Yeah, I like to go behind the curtain to dig up the news and get the story.
Yes, correct.
I did that, and I'm coming back here. I'm going to be bringing my American passport. When I go in, nothing in it, coming back, something here. So all these here being coordinated with both governments, making sure that I'm not being pushed on the side to say, how can your boat you are going, you understand me, you come in now. So where you pass, how you go, all of that. All of these issues, are they all clear?
Well, what we do know is that the Liberian government will stamp your passport, your American passport, to show that you come from Liberia. So based on that, whatever country you're going to, they will show that you came from Liberia.
The conversation is getting to be more serious. The panelists, contributors, analysts, they are here. I'm Afonso Zienso. We'll be right back. Okay, the conversations of dual citizenship it's a diverse conversation, different views, opinions, and it's within their own liberty to do that. Our man, Cesar Goya, senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, Amos Joy from the far right, Atlanta, Georgia, and Dr. Joyce Toto of BESS. They are all here. Gentlemen, let's get the ball rolling. Sissy, you're tweeting crazy out there like Donald Trump is off the hook with this whole thing here. Let's bring you into this conversation here. You tweeted part-time. What are you talking about?
Yes, I appreciate you, Mr. So, and I know 3 of the 4 people here very well. It's only my sister, the new president from LP. Congratulations. I don't know you as well, but I know my brother Ato Wiados, my senior brother, Mr. Wetty, and my Oma said we've been in so many campaigns together. Dr. Torber, it's nice to see the all of you. Let me first open up by saying we owe a debt of gratitude, especially to Eminent Wetty, for the many years, the many sleepless nights, the many arguments and fights and pushback he's gotten from a lot of people, including me. But he's still consistent on this issue of dual citizenship. You cannot say dual citizenship in the diaspora and divorce the name Emmanuel Wetty from it. So I want to say, senior brother, thank you for being consistent and for putting up with some of the fires that come along the way. And I know you, my brother. We adore you. We've worked a lot with Eula and on this issue, and also my own Oma was Dr. Torber, and now my sister Sionde. But let me ask a question. Let me put a hypothetical to you. And based on the law that has been passed. Yoruba Goya from Zlo, Lofa County.
Oh boy.
Born and raised, Zonzo District. Came to the United States and I had to pick up a U.S. citizenship because the work I was doing required U.S. citizenship, and now I'm an American citizen. There is a family member from Guinea who moved to Liberia from Guinea, born and raised in Guinea, moved to Liberia from Guinea, acquires a Liberian citizenship by naturalization. The naturalized Guinean Liberian and the now dual citizenship Liberian-born American Cici Goya. This law has passed. Who has more rights and privileges?
Well, the first thing is thank you very much, my dear brother. There's one part you didn't disclose, though. You are a member of the Dual Citizenship Committee, so I hope you disclose that.
Just disclose that. I'm a member of the Dual Citizenship, but they can't write it here, but they don't disclose too many things. So put that out there.
Okay, so I will try to answer the question, but please, I want you guys to keep promoting our March 25th program. That's the reason why we are here. So I hope as we go along, you might get an upward chance to talk. Yeah. First thing is this, Professor, thank you very much. You always, like you mentioned, gave us challenging questions and put in the red part. We do appreciate that. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia guaranteed natural-born Liberians only two positions. Only two. Only two positions we are guaranteed natural-born Liberians. President, Vice President. There is nowhere in the Constitution. Oh, hello, you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. Good. Everywhere it says a Liberian. A Liberian could be natural-born Liberian or a naturalized Liberian. Constitutionally. So this new law, it says that if you are a Liberian, you cannot be, if you're a Liberian with dual citizenship, you cannot hold the position of finance minister, you cannot be governor of the National Bank, and you cannot be or defense minister, I think, yes. So now, the same law says, section 3.2, it says that you can't ask the person. So even if somebody accused you, I thought we had yeah, even if somebody accused you of being an American citizen, the law says that you can't ask the person that question.
I mean, wait, can I just let me just focus the question, please?
Yeah.
So I like that you quoted that law, because that's what I was going to. The law says there are two positions guaranteed to Liberians: president, vice president. Everything says you must be.
Professor,
natural-born Liberians.
Yeah, that made that very clear. That would be helpful.
Natural-born Liberians. I get you. So now every other position is available to Liberians.
Yeah, to Liberians.
There's dual citizenship law that places limitations on dual citizen Liberians. And so, hold on. If you are dual citizen, according to you, you cannot be finance minister, you cannot be defense minister. If I am a naturalized Liberian who was born in Guinea, that restriction is not on me. So do you see this as, that's why I posted that this is a part-time citizenship, because a person born in Guinea who naturalized as a Liberian does not have the restriction from being finance minister or defense minister. But I, Gidoba Cici Goya, who was born in Zolowo, Lofa County, cannot, by this law, by this restriction, cannot be defense minister or minister of finance.
Yeah, Professor, let us speak on the law. Let's speak to the letter of the law, the new assumption. It says a Liberian. It did not say a natural-born Liberian. The law says a Liberian.
On which part now? Because there are two things we're talking. The part I'm looking at It's not the presidency and the vice presidency. We're done with that.
We're talking about the restriction on the job.
Are there any restrictions in the dual citizenship law that was passed? Are there any restrictions?
Yes, there are three restrictions. Yes, those restrictions are for a Liberian with dual citizenship. It did not say a naturalized Liberian or a natural born Liberian.
You're not getting me. I think you got an answer you want to give out, but you're not understanding my question.
Okay,
I'm not saying what a naturalized Liberian. I'm saying the law has passed.
Yeah.
The new law has passed. As a restriction for dual citizenship holders.
Yeah.
It does not have a restriction for naturalized Liberians.
No. You see, that's why I want to get you, Professor. The law says a Liberian. A Liberian could be a natural born Liberian or a naturalized Liberian. Most of us believe that the law is only restricting to natural born. The law didn't say that.
Okay.
The law did not say. I come in now. The law did not say natural born.
I want us to return to baseline. I think we got to bring you guys here to go a little bit much deeper.
No, I mean, this is very important because this argument is very old and since the president signed this law. Nowhere in the law that said the restrictions are only limited to natural born Liberians. It didn't say that. It said a Liberian, and a Liberian could be a natural born Liberian or a naturalized Liberian.
But Eminent, I'm not even arguing that point. The point I'm arguing is the part that talks about the Liberian, the people with dual citizenship. Because if I naturalize as a Liberian, as a Guinean, chances are I'm not holding Guinean citizenship anymore. I have only Liberian citizenship. I'm looking at the restriction that was placed in the law that we're trying to celebrate that restricts Liberians with dual citizenship, like me.
This is what happened. Except the state of Israel. Except the state of Israel, we are not aware of any dual citizenship law that don't have a restriction. Look, our law that we're celebrating is a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction, and we believe that one day, those after all make it better. We are celebrating something since 1974 that was put in. So the celebration is indicating that we have made progress, and those after us can improve on it. Now, let's say again, the very law that you're talking about says that they can't ask you any question. The very law. So let us talk about the positive part too. Even though the law says there are restrictions, the law also says you can ask a person. So that is muted.
So Eminem, let's do it this way. Let's do that. Coming, we adored. Pa George, you asked one question to Dr. Toto, and we want to return to baseline this program, the pending program, so we can get a little bit detail. We just wanted to make sure, but I definitely you're going to come back in the chambers here, so so we can have more comfort. And part of that, gentleman, lady, is to get the thing out there too, so that people, all of the doubts and apprehension can be put to a rest. Mr. George, do you have any question before we pivot to our main conversation here? So the next study, anything that is dual citizenship?
Let me just say to them, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. But I really don't have any real question on this because I would prefer a legal person to come to help us on that issue. From what Mr. Monty is saying, I think I would want a legal-minded person to come to better explain to us that issue of the Constitution, because our sister was trying to push back on it very hard, and that is the direction I was laying, because it has to be explained to us. It has to be very explicit, because to say that portion is like a silence, don't ask, don't talk. That the kind of thing he's saying, that you can't ask the person that whether they are Liberian. Because many are concerned. We saw what about Dickey did in Liberia. So I think that's the direction Stacey is coming from. So who came from Nigeria, beat the system completely, and no penalty. Today, It turned around and made him citizen. It like reward him for bad behavior. So these are some of the issues we want to raise. But as I said, I don't have any question. But if we have some legal-minded person from Liberia to help us, then of course, that's it.
See,
I just want to say thank you. Thanks to you.
Yeah. You asked Donald Trump when you were asking for 1,000 votes to get to the finishing line, the man from Georgia.
That was our grand jury. Our grand jury did work on it.
Okay.
It's not everywhere no grand jury can work, but yeah, in Georgia, it worked.
Yeah, you know, I really
Since you don't laugh or don't call your kid.
Yeah, I really appreciate your comment and your concern. You know, we also open to have legal mind.
Right.
About those who help to write the law, those who are beyond the thing, we can after the thing get call off, we can give you some names.
Okay,
and,
good. Yeah,
and they will explain. But you know, just to end this topic, we all need to be very careful. I mean, look at the Constitution and look the limit it gave us as natural born Liberians, because most of us, including myself, we all get confused with natural born and naturalized Liberians. So only the two positions that are guaranteed natural born. Everywhere in our Constitution and everywhere the law, it says a Liberian. So a Liberian can be natural born or naturalized.
All right. Dr. Toto, is there anything you want to go back to the pending program, some of the recipe they have there?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me say welcome to my colleagues. You know, we all work together before the past, you know, on the dual citizenship. I think the far right insists we are not discussing that natural born people that naturalized are coming like, bro, we're discussing dual citizenship. Now we are benefiting from it. So the dual citizenship team are doing extremely well. You know, you see, this is about national identification card. I got it from Nigeria through the immigration, and I showed my American passport when I went to Liberia. I got it from there. Even though it's a little bit of a tussle, some of the guys in the immigration did not understand the law, and I thought, well, I did explain to them. I got my ID card, and I go in Liberia next morning again to go and register to vote. You know, so the community are doing extremely well. I'm proud of the work they have done, you know, and our support. And I will be there in Philadelphia also to support the program. Since it's arguing to them, because why the people need to move Minnesota.
No, I said transparency.
You understand?
Transparency. Why do you pick Philadelphia when you have far fewer Liberians living than the Midwest? What was the process in selecting the location for the celebration? Transparency.
We'll come to that part. Okay.
We come to Philadelphia to celebrate.
Okay, guys, let's return to baseline. Thank you so much. We just want to get an insight here, and I'm happy that here the legal counsel advisor to the president is going to be coming.
So let me ask a quick question, please, Mr. So, because my camera came off. To Dr. Toto, I know I'm talking about that Minnesota thing because I already understand. I was looking at transparency. Nobody laid out the process, but now that you have a Liberian ID, are you going to be paying taxes to the Liberian government?
Sure, I pay taxes. Yeah, I pay taxes.
Hello.
There's a difference between.
Hold on, guys. Let's not derail this whole thing.
I pay taxes.
When I go there, how do you call internal revenue and him, we will talk. We will talk that other part there. So, guys, we're talking about folks coming from Liberia, I believe, both from the government and maybe other institutions. How many delegate persons we are expecting from the government side, just to kind of like up to the
I mean, then we're counting. Well, so far we have signed more than 10 invitations and still counting. So you know, we so far everybody has said they're coming, except for one. Somebody just called me and said, you know, March will be registration time for voting. So, you know, but for now, everybody said they're coming. And let's see what happens. You know, and anything is changing. But no matter what happened, under the leadership of Dr. Torbo or Sayande, and after we are doing the program will go on. Even if Mother Edward is not there,
It's in Philadelphia. Let's look at the gate intake, people contribution, donation, whatever you want to turn it. What is the cause, and all of that. And what is
our chairleader will talk on that.
Is that the president?
The chairleader or the president, both of them can talk on it after we are doing.
Okay, so who wants to take the lead on that? How much, if I'm coming, how much am I supposed to pay? We are those here, I should be expecting my letter.
Well, it's just a flat fee of $100 donation that we're asking for, and excuse me.
What pay the $100? Is there any supplement to that $100? Am I going to get a drink? Am I going to get whatever?
Yes, you definitely would be getting a meal, and you would be getting drinks and everything with that $100. So.
And you get your dual citizenship too. So
I love that, Madam President. That's my committee.
The visa money I can't pay in Washington DC, you can go pay there.
I tell them around here just $100 so you don't buy visa anymore in your life. And they say, really? I say, yes. $100, just come to the program. You will never buy a visa to go to Liberia again.
Whatever guys are happy, but it's a cost saving you. Okay. So who are the speakers? Let's talk to who are the speakers, and what specifically would they be telling people, delegates or attendees at the program?
So far,
that was a surprise.
We got the honoree, the chief honoree will be speaking, and we trying to get a guest speaker. I think that our work has been done to get a guest speaker. We're just waiting for 1 or 2 approval, and we'll be announcing the guest speaker. Our team has already approached the guest speaker. Because basically, according to Dr. Tober, she wants plenty talking.
Yeah.
She has made it extremely clear.
I would be in support of that.
She wants plenty talking. So she just won the chief honoree to speak with all the honorees. Then we'll have a guest speaker. We already approached that guest speaker, but we just need one more approval from other people. Then we announce it. The guest speaker have agreed in principle to be there. So looking at it, Dr. Tober just won maximum 2 person to talk. Then you do the benediction, and that's it. But she want nobody talking.
Eminem, please let me hear it from the house's mom. So let me.
Yes, let me clarify that very quickly. I think our Liberian people love to just talk a little too long, and this is a celebration. But we shouldn't forget, like Ato Weado was saying, we are going to be recognizing all these people that have, given up their time for this effort. So we want to also use time to, honor them and recognize all the efforts. So we don't want to have all these people talking and then forget these people that put all the time into making this happen. So we want to put some time to that. Yes.
Okay. So did I hear you saying special honoree?
Yes, well, this whole effort has been done by, like Eminem Weddy has said, we've had partners, Europe, Australia, Ghana, Canada, and all those partners have people in their community that work very hard. They're sending out names of people that they want us to recognize, and all those partners that have been, joint partners in this effort will be recognized. So we're going to have quite a few people to recognize that night. Yeah.
Fellow analysts, any question relative to the planning program, Dr. Tote? Anyway, maybe they will hire us. We'll go there to do the coverage.
That would be wonderful.
You want to get it out there, of course. LPR is always willing to move.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask, Emmett, I don't know if he's listening. Since the dual citizenship was passed, because as I said, when I went in Liberia, when I was engaged in immigration, most of them don't have almost any of the law. So I don't know if the Ministry of Foreign Affairs make a position like a gazette to be published, recognizing dual citizenship have been passed. The Liberian are passing all through direct entry.
Hello?
Foreign passports should be recognized. And our immigration are going through some basic training to others and some of the international documents. Whenever Liberia coming from Europe, from Australia, or other places. So I don't know if Emmanuel Whitey is aware of that, if the government of Liberia taking an initiative, or if the dual citizenship committee have taken an initiative to provide some training and education to the public out there with the support of the government.
Okay.
And that, I think that is a very important aspect, eminent going out. If we,
I'm here.
really,
So the eminence still here.
oh, you're hearing? Okay, yeah. So before you respond, we hopefully maybe through you guys, the government delegation, like I did hear you saying, the council to the president, we can invite these people to have these conversations. I think that will also be great, and part of that is to give then the opportunity so that they themselves can explain these things here, and not just we hear from somewhere and run with it and draw the conclusion. So hopefully we will coordinate with you guys if we can work out. I will see whether we can make time to get there, but I think it's important we have this conversation. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, thank you. We are doing every effort, for these people to even come on your show and provide more opportunity for people to know. So yeah, these things are all part of the planning. That's why the funds from this program will go back into educating and spreading the news and educating people on this thing and more advocacy. So yes, Chairman Toto, we recognize that and we are going to do that. Yeah.
Mr. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Sisi.
Despite my own misgivings about the shortcomings of the law, I think to the extent that anything that is passed benefits Liberians, however way we look at it, as far as quantifying it, I think it's a good thing. So I add my voice to the group here and say, if you're in the area or if you have the time and you can go, show up. And if you cannot go, what I'm going to do is I can't go because I'm busy. I told Emmanuel Wetty this, and I'm going to send my own donation to buy a ticket, even though I'm not going to be there. This is not because I 100% support the law as it's passed. My people don't know I have serious reservations about this law, but to the extent that it benefits some Liberians, and this is a kickstart to continuing the process to get to where we all want to go. I think this is a worthy cause. Emmanuel Wetty and his group has been very transparent when it comes to financial accountability. So I think putting your money in there will be a good thing. And I will be sending my own. I'll be buying tickets. And I will not be coming because I'll be busy. But I think even if you can't make it to Philadelphia, I think this is a worthy cause on behalf of Liberians, not just in the diaspora, because by allowing this, by focusing on this, you also get a brain trust that be able to go back to Liberia. You get investments that people feel secure taking their investments back when they feel that they have some ownership of the land. So I will support the program. I think people should show up, even if you have lists about the law, and just support the cause.
Okay, and I eminent to the team. If you have any special message to enhance this program, it can be like one of the best things that resonate with people. It can be like a short video message, very succinct message. We can send it to all. We can work on it, and during our regular programs, we're going to be advertising it as our own way. Anything that connects, as long as gender is authentic, LPR are always there to support that. We want to welcome our man June Malice, senior analyst, Koto Jalabalayan, analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, joining this conversation here. Gentlemen, any other thing?
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, then while we wait for the analyst to process, we can go back to the committee. There are other detailed information that we need to.
I will find Citizen because you are not transparent with what he was working with this committee and never came back and never disclosed that he was part of this committee. So Citizen will find you. That's what I got to tell you.
Okay.
They will not do politics yet. They all
I beg you. Yeah. When we leave, you and I know. So, I committee members, Dr. Talbot, Madam President, is there other things that we need to know, the public needs to know out there with respect to this? playing program. What's the significance? I mean, why should I leave Rhode Island, someone Minnesota? So what do we expect just besides celebration? What do we expect? What else to be to cheer? We need to cheer up.
Um, 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 I want for us to look beyond the celebration. Uh, and we did discuss about it is something that is doable, and some African countries, why can't we do the same thing? So it is not only about all just going. A lot of cases that we are trying to pull together, including the country voter, which is very very important for Liberians, where we will not be lump sum for more to Liberia to say we want to go there and vote. I mean, some people living from here now as we speak to travel to Liberia and register, to vote. So we want to stop that so that at least Liberians in the diaspora, not only the United States, but I mean everywhere in the diaspora, can be able to go to your embassy, to your consulate section, anywhere, and then go
Somebody
and
have
vote. For the for the choice of people. You see? So that is why this entire advocacy, this is why the entire event is all about looking beyond the event. We already started the groundwork. Committee member of the out of country voting is already working, and we are in contact with the relevant agency, including NEC, to make sure that we get this advocacy being pushed. So I'm trying to use this opportunity to appeal to the folks on here first. They say if you really want to get something done, you get your family member. We are all family member here. This is Igoya, Zoe, and the rest of the your panelists. They are all great people. I know some of them, and I think they can help us in the process of promoting, advocating for out of country voting. I must tell you, it is doable. Will not take 12 years. We will not take 12 years like this because we are ready and Liberians are ready. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here to tell you about our celebration in Philadelphia on the 25th. Come and let us celebrate. We will be
okay.
honoring some of the people that you know that you may not know. We'll be honoring them.
All right, Dr. Toba, do you want to take a peek at
And
this?
we get some and we get some to there too.
I have a question for what we are doing.
Make sure you can go to a fire court.
So you think about bring me to Philadelphia? I don't mind how we are doing that. It's the important thing.
And first, let me ask.
Yeah, Mr. Kani, Dr. Toto, I want
Yeah,
Dr. Toba can address here for
let me
online.
ask a question to go for that.
It's very loud. I'm not hearing. What was the question, please?
I want to ask. I'm saying I want to ask a question.
Yeah, let me just bring this one from the online on here. Dr. Toba, this is what Momolu is saying. As part of the $100 entry fees for the program, it would be a good thing for the copy of the laws be attached to the program. Just my thought.
Well, I read that just before you read it. I saw that and I thought it was a good idea. Of course, we still I'm not sure if we still have Eminem Wetty on, but he's in charge of the program. So I would bring that to his attention. That's not a bad idea. We'll see if we're able to attach that to the program.
Yeah, and the president can consider that done. It will happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, and when you're wondering what else is going to happen, of course, you know, I think it's a good thing. You hear about what people are doing, and you hear and things, all what you know, the media. This is happening, and you hear about Wetty, or you hear about all these other people. I think it's a great thing when you can come together and meet these people in person and have some great conversations, and then probably even understand what you know, what made them do what they did. You know, what motivated, for example, Eminem Wetty to push this for 12 years, you know, with unrelenting and going back. So when you can meet people in person and understand certain things, and you know, for the gentleman that said I would like to have a lawyer come and explain things to me, and hopefully we have quite a few of the Liberian officials coming, so you'll be able to have those conversations with them. You know, you can hash it out. You know, what is the understanding? What are the plans for us? You know, we can probably share ideas, exchange ideas on how we see this all moving forward. You know, and understand what's really happening on the ground. So I think coming to a program like this is just not coming for the food or the drinks. You know, it's coming for the great conversations and coming to meet those people in person that have given up their time, you know, to make this happen for an entire group of people, not just for themselves.
So the fees are straight flat rate, right?
The fees are flat rate. Do not expect us to be asking you for or fundraising during the program and getting any extra money from you. You know, we're asking for that money because we need to pay for this place. You know, it is a catered place, and it's a very nice place that you'll be attending the event. So it's a flat rate for everything that you will be getting at the event.
So what's about, I'm a free thinker, Dr. Tabo. What's about somebody who is listening out there? Okay, maybe I want to pay my $100 in pieces. I can do 2 payments before the program. I can send 50 here, I can send 50 there, and I just get it now. I do my own thing. Where such a, is there any sort of prepayment to the prior to the event going on, or everything has to be done to the meeting?
No, we're actually on the invitation and the flyer. You're able to connect to Eventbrite, and that's where your payment. We're hoping that people will do the prepayment and do it at the door. I think sometimes those things just take so long at the door, just trying to get payment from people. But Eventbrite is on the flyer. You can connect to that, and you can make your payment there. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, please don't hesitate to send as much information. It's better too late than never, and we can try to chip in that during our commercial break.
Okay.
Our programs and stuff. That guys, anybody? Dr. Toto, you said you had a question? Something?
It's a question, but not real question.
Yeah.
That's a concern.
Concern?
Yeah. So.
A Liberia concern network?
No. That's the issue of something. What is organization? You know, so I think we are doing a better relate to that also to the last the organization, you know, and because so politics are we suffer during the referendum. We were defeated because the way politics don't tour on it. We have in this program, we fighting against the government. So some of the people who going to see that, did you guys reach out to other people from the very political party to invite them, maybe for Alexander Comey, Pastor Walker, or other people? But to us in this region, so now only because politics, but it's a national issue. Like everybody together.
Chairman Toto.
Yeah.
I think your point is very good. I'll talk to Dr. Tauber, and we consider that very well, because since it's a celebration, you know, we can put everybody in, you know, all Liberians from everywhere can be part of it. So I will talk with Dr. Tauber off here and get her take sense to the chairperson, you know. But that's a very good point you brought up, and we'll consider that. Yeah?
Okay. Madam Dalayan, I think you were coming in. Any question?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to, you know, the body that they show that this process was successful. You know, once a Liberian is always a Liberian. And I don't know whether I got this part of it. I'm sorry that I'm coming in late and I'm going to be asking this question. And I know that this process has been going on for a while. And it came to a time where the other group headed by Emmanuel Yato, and then with this group, had there been any collaboration since then? Because I know there was some body seeking some recognition that we did this, we, trying to get glory. Was there any reconciliation in the Wati group with this group?
Well, Miss.
Sorry, Emmanuel Yato rather in the Wati's group.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the comment. You know, we think that everybody that's involved, love Liberia. It's just that we may have different method of doing the same thing. You know, the issue with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. You know, they had their own path, but they all wanted the better thing for the black people. So there's not much difference. It's just that we just sort in different way, and we're all working together. In fact, people from the Yato group. I don't want to say the Yato group, but you know, just for the matter of conversation, will be honored. We all will be there celebrating the victory. So it's all one Liberian thing, you know. But sometimes, you know, these things happen, but that's part of the game. And we are all on the same level. We all wanted the same thing. And you know, it's just that we had a different telescope or microscope, but we all wanted dual citizenship. So I think everything is okay, whether we're working together or not. We are all Liberians. Nobody has said anything to us, so we're working together and we're moving on. You know.
I know. But I will not pay for visa again.
Yeah.
On the issue of fundraiser, can I ask a real quick question?
Yeah.
So say hypothetically, I'm in Minnesota, and I cannot afford to come to Pennsylvania for the celebration, and I also cannot afford the $100, but I want to contribute towards the cause. You're going to create a way for people to be able to make donations. Those people who got $75, $50, not enough to buy a ticket because they're not going to be there, but just enough to show their appreciation for the work that the likes of Emmanuel Weti and Dr. Weber and my brother Ato Yado and those many people that have been doing towards moving this thing to becoming a reality. Are you thinking of
Professor, that's a very good idea.
That's a very good,
we leader with our cheerleader. That's a very good idea.
Well, thanks, dear. Thanks for saying that. You know, that I think that's wonderful. Because you know, coming from far nowadays and just traveling nowadays is pretty expensive. So that's great. So we're looking into that quickly because we only have the $100 on the event, right? But that's a great idea. We'll put something out there soon.
We got a great people here. Far-sighted people, but when they ready to eat their own baby, they don't low buy. I blow and buy. Okay. Madam President, you are let's come back to you before we let you guys go. Hopefully, maybe a committee member or whatever information you can fill out in, and we'll try to do that regular announcement here. Tell us here, what is the move? No, when Philly is a big land, you know. What is the atmosphere now? Tell us something here that will kind of like energize me to say, you know what, let me put this on my calendar. Tell us, what is the move? What is the preparation? What are you anticipating?
Well, first of all, Philly is a city of, we call it a city of brotherly love and sisterly affection.
There you go.
So there will be an arousing welcome for everyone on the Friday night. We can all meet somewhere, chit chat, have this discussion, you know, about the importance of the dual citizenship and all that on the Friday night before the event on Saturday. And of course, we have many local restaurants here. You know, we have a place where you can go eat any African food. I mean, any Liberian food. We have the Dumbo. They call it the Dumbo Valley. If you want to eat some Dumbo and soup, we got Dumbo Valley. Somewhere where you can go sit and eat Dumbo. Yeah. We have Wusu spots where you can have any kind of food from Liberian from. And many other places. You know, people are excited to welcome people here for that weekend. And of course, the members of the executives and board will all be there to welcome people on board. And, you know, Philly has a lot of organizations, Liberian organizations, and we have invited all of them to come in. And all the Liberian organizations, all in and around Philly, will be here. So we are looking forward to have a great celebration.
Okay, let me add a layer here to this year. We in the media industry, it's our job to ask all of these questions, no matter whether we are for and for our personal say. So let me ask here, this is a great milestone. Since 1847, with this whole law, in 2019, we saw a pivoting here. Guys, don't you see this to be something like a big red carpet event? So some of us and see how people are going to be walking through the aisle with a red carpet celebrations. Is that something that makes sense that perhaps can be added to this whole coronation that I see coming? I see Ato do. I think Ato do, when we're to take a vote here, he will vote in my favor on that one day. Dr. Tobo?
Sure.
No, Philadelphia. Look, Philadelphia. We know how to celebrate. And,
What if Minnesota?
I think the leftover beer from the celebration they didn't have for the Super Bowl, it stayed there. We just go drink it.
but yeah, definitely. No, we're hoping this is going to be really grand because this is going to go down in history. You know, this is a huge thing, something that we never thought would ever come to fruition. So this is going to be very grand. It's going to be a grand celebration. So come expecting the best. It will be a grand style. Yeah.
I have a question about the president.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, and then we'll be wrapping up with them.
Madam President,
that's the last
one.
For some of us, I'm coming to Philadelphia. I cannot afford a hotel bill.
Oh boy.
You can more eminent chairman. You can be
yes. I cannot afford a hotel bill. Cannot be helped to launch somewhere to spend the night.
What? He can sleep in your car.
You know, I will call you out of this call and we can talk about that.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Toto is the governor of the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So don't worry. You get paid.
Guys.
We're talking about that, Dr. Toto and everybody else. If you don't want to go to the hotel, we have Airbnbs around here. You know, maybe you can have a whole house to yourself if you don't want the hotel.
Can I ask this question? I think one of this question was answered, but I would like to know the fund that would be collected. What will it be used for?
Well, as we you were not here before. Really, we don't. Excuse me. We don't expect much funds to be, collected or left over after that $100 fee, because it's pretty much going to go to that, to everything that you're going to get at the hall. So there's not anything extra. First of all, we're not fundraising at this event, so your $100 flat rate will get you everything for the event. So we're just saying, if there's anything left over from there, we're going to use that for we've already started the work on out of country voting. So we're hoping whatever is left over from there, we'll use for that. But we really don't expect to make, any profit, from this. So what you're paying is pretty much going to be paying for, the event. Yeah.
So, Mr. Comrade Abu Saleh, if you were going LPR, it'd be pay-per-view. So, one of the
May I say to you, I posted the link for the Eventbrite in the chat room, and I was emailed it to you. So just in case you want to get your tickets ahead of time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I know if you can share that with us. Okay, guys, ladies, our leaders, we want to thank you so much. I think we have a conversation. But before we wrap up here, to our guests, talking about for this coronation that is coming, is there any final thing you want to say before your closing argument?
I just want to say, let's look beyond the day of this celebration. Let's look at our generation to come. We have migrated in many parts of the world, and we are having children. And our children are also curious to know about where we come from, And so this is an opportunity too for our children to have that free will to go back home and see where their parents came from, what their generation is coming from. So this is not just our generation celebration. I'm looking at it beyond that, because I have a son here, and I show my son is anxious to go back to know where his parents came from, Liberia. And the fact that he'll be able to go back home in that free way and not going through all that long process is a good thing. So let's look at it beyond this celebration and this one step that's coming away. And there are more steps to follow and more benefits and other things that we will do with this celebration day. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. I thought we are done. What's your final closing argument? Final thought.
Oh, I just want to add to the last president, CND, and just to call this night a night, and thank you to you, CNZO. As I told you earlier, you should be expecting a letter, okay? But Sisi Goya will be preparing trouble for Sisi Goya, and he loved Obogi. And the guy who he has in Guinea that is natural life, he would meet that guy face to face, they would discuss. And my man George Toto will gain one SUV to sleep in. For the night, that would have one night, will gain SUV for you to sleep in. And our sister there being very ready for her. So I just want to thank all of you for the night, and I hope and pray our message of this celebration on the 25th of March, so that we can go beyond not only the celebration but the OV, which is the out of country voting advocacy. It is not an event but a process. So much for giving me the opportunity to be with you tonight.
Okay, so the curtain is winding down. Now I'm caught between the lines now. I have Eminent, I have Dr. Talbot. I don't want to get in trouble here. So let me just throw it right in here. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go?
Yeah, Dr. Talbot is the chair, so you'll be the last. I'll just make a comment.
Now you're off my hand. Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eminent Wati, thank you so much. I bring the last time was at your inauguration. Thank you for letting us know Ohio. That been a little while now.
Yeah, I remember that. I just want to say thanks to the team, Dr. Tobo, President CND, and our actor we are do, and everybody Sister Goyon who have been supporting us, Dr. Toto, and everybody. Just want to come back. I don't want to say much about the program because our chair would say all, but it is very important that the issue of job, our constitution is very clear that only two positions are for natural born Liberians. Every other position for Liberia is for Liberians, and that can be a natural born Liberian or a naturalized Liberian. So only do two positions for natural born. So at another day we can discuss it with the lawyers. But I will let everybody be aware that the guy who is naturalized and you that born there, the only position you have over that person is president and vice president according to our constitution. I want to say thanks to everybody for the effort, and may God bless us. And on the 25th, we'll be there in Philly. But thank you, guys, for your great job and for your platform of future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, just Eminent, the doyens of this whole thing here. So let's come to one of the person who is not giving up until I don't see you, Dr. Tobot, retiring now until this voting for 1 year is concluded. That's my guess. That's my hope here. So let's hear from you. Where is all this strength coming from here, from one thing to another headache, and you still keep moving? Let's hear from you. What is your takeaway message, our take-home message from this whole committee work so far?
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for allowing us to be on the show and using your platform. Look, let me take a line from the movie Casablanca. At the end of the movie, when what's his name said, "This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." And when I said that, I said, let's use this time as the beginning of a wonderful friendship back with our brothers and sisters in Liberia, because hopefully this celebration and what has happened will start to break down those walls of insecurity and fear of taking the job, and that insecurity of them thinking, oh my God, I don't have my job. But let us use this time to rebuild. We've never been able to reconcile with everything that has happened in Liberia. And hopefully something like this will help us come back together as one. We are all Liberians, and we're hoping that all of what we've gone through for the past 30-something years will start to break down slowly, and we'll use this time to build our country back up. So we want you to come and join with us and celebrate with us. And Philadelphia was not picked for any particular reason or ag. So, Citizen, there's a lot of work. Sandy and I are running back and forth the night and day, and we're on the phone sometime. Early this morning, I just sent her a text, I think 7 o'clock this morning. That's how much we're working. So we're working just so we can celebrate and come together and have those wonderful conversations. Because when we do not talk, when we do not share ideas, and we do not have those conversations, we always, in the back of our mind, have something that we think is happening, and we assume. And let's get away from making assumptions, and let's talk and have those conversations that can bring us back together and make us one. So come and celebrate with us, and as we start again that wonderful friendship and that wonderful in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Let us start to do that and get it back to Liberia, where we can start to rebuild Liberia. So thank you so much for allowing us to be on this platform.
What a great conversation. Folks, thank you. Eminent Wati, Dr. Talbot, Ato Wiadot, and the president of Pennsylvania, that Liberian community. We want to say thank you so much, and we are looking for at all times, to work with our community leaders to help to enhance their messages out there outside of their own comfort zone. And so please, like I said, the more information you share with us, we will not hesitate to also pass that on to our viewers and listeners and followers. Thank you so much, and we're looking forward. So this is the day here. It's March 25th, dual citizenship victory celebration. It's gonna be a carnival. So we were asking for a hotel. The hotel, then they're already here. So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Maybe hotel.
yeah. So wait, Dr. Toto, you see here, right?
Dr. Toto will talk about something else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It was good having you. Okay. Okay, guys. Just stay with me as we are about to do a little bit wrapping up here. Let's have our own in-house a little conversation here. And Emina, what you spoke already, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Okay, guys, let's have a little bit roundtable conversation here. And I think it's going to be a divided house because Sister was firing and Dr. Toto was in holding back to say, okay, this guy, because we are not going in the Midwest, something is getting under his skin. Amos George, as usual, came back, said there was a betrayal on the part of Sister Goya. What a deep throat event here this event. They unveiled Sister Goya.
I didn't use the word betrayal. I use the word betrayal.
The message, the way they were not transparent for their son take care, or not transparent too.
I try to modify the word you use. You not tell all the so well. So control myself playing little low profile today or 40 a month. But guys, I think there's some sense of celebration. So this has been a very long fight. Living Equatorial Guinea, Tanzania, and other places. I mean, it's a little baby step here. And I'm happy that some of these people that are closer to national leaders, they are coming. Hopefully. I think people have to squeeze in their calendar. I hope they will talk. I think because Sese asked a very sticky question here. I don't know why he took that person from Guinea and bringing into this whole scenario here. But that was a valid question. And I hope the legal advisor, they are people that I work with this whole thing. They will be able to, not just want to come and celebrate, or be able to have a sort of town hall style conversation with Liberians, not just only in Philadelphia, other places. They can make use as many networks in the player, the LPR, the FOL, the Spawn, GD Hard Talk, and all of those places. They need to get this out here. Dr. Toto, let me just bring you being in the vanguard with this whole thing here as Walter. The celebration, they say Walter?
Oh yeah, definitely so. Of course, it's very Walter. If I can look back when we started the advocacies, well, that time I was just a rookie in ULA when President Arthur Watson was the president of ULA at that time. You know, when he talked about the dual citizenship issue, and when Arthur Watson, I was part of that delegation that went to Liberia, and we met President Eddie Johnson Sally Jr. first inaugural program, and the ULA delegation put that dual citizenship proposal before her. And I can remember in her office at that time was the foreign affairs, and she had to embrace it. And she told us to go back and put, not just talking about it more, but to put it in paper, in black and white, to put the modality and start working towards it. And her office was coming to support the process. So, and then again, we went back to Liberia again, during editor again.
Not to interrupt you, was the process supported by her office?
Yeah, she supported the process through us. In fact, we went back again, Liberia again, met our part of that delegation again, during Kingsley presidency again. We went to Liberia again. We had a meeting with President Eddie Johnson sitting in office again. We went there again. During President Wiata, also to I head of the delegation that myself, went to Liberia with an email address and sent in session, to make the case for dual citizenship. So it had been a lot of hurdle, pulling all. But Eddie Johnson said, even though she supported it by the end, people said that she let us down, But the problem, I think, also too, in the legislatures, also too, I remember one time when we went there during the first time when Senator Kobe Small, no faculty, at that time, he hold my hand. He said that workers, I can always say it in the public. I don't say I don't talk about it. I even told in the press in Liberia. Kobe Small hold my hand also. He said, "But man, your comes in from your car or empty here. The people in America give you money to come and advocate. Your comes in here with empty here." I said, "No, Senator, it's not true."
Kobe Small?
Yeah, Kobe Small. Well, the 10th senator for Lofa County.
Sumo Kobe.
Yeah. So yeah, he told me. So I said, "Okay, Senator, what are we looking at?" He told me, "Say if we can see the talk, we got about 40,000."
40,000 what?
40,000 US. Before the Senate could say the talk to us.
Was he the chair then at the time or on the committee?
He was the chairman for the finance committee at that time in the Senate. If I remember mistaken, but that was a word of conversation. So the dual citizenship had a lot of hurdle back and forth from the Senate. I can remember Senator Prince Johnson pushed me out of the office. When I went in office, he pushed me outside the office. He said, "Dual citizenship, get us out of the office. I want to talk to you." So we went through a lot in the Capitol building. When you go there, some other guy will give you good research, they will say the talk. When you turn your back, they had different things on the Senate floor. So and even saw the referendum that came out. When the first Sunday kid that brought the split where Cotto were talking about Yato group also emerged too. They said they're going to make it possible to download the law. They had their own hiccup also too. That's successful. So at the end of the day, for it to come through now and pass through our president, we are leadership. It's something that we should really applaud the leadership for in the world celebration.
So I'm kind of a little bit stunned here. Cecil, let me just bring you in here. Lawmakers, citizens coming out, say this is what we have, this is what we are pushing, and asking in return, not to say, okay, there are other 4-5 committee members, perhaps we need to get a little bit more detail. I know everything to lobby is required money, but to just be out front like that, 40,000?
So, Mr. So, people hire lobbyists everywhere, and lobbyists, sadly, are the people who bribe legally lawmakers. You're either giving them physical cash, or you are making sure that they get elected. the Liberian diaspora group had never gotten any one senator elected before Darius DeLong. So they didn't have any power. So who are you going to lobby? Who can you lean on? So if you don't have that political power to get him in office, then of course you got to grease the wheel. But back to this dual citizenship stuff. Yes, it's worth it of celebration because there's a lot of Liberians that have toured, that have worked hard for this thing. But even though I'm a member of the dual citizenship committee, and I come from the most prominent member chapter of EULA. This is where your 501c3 in Minnesota. I still have a serious problem with the dual citizenship laws as passed. And for disclosure, I was on the committee, but I also sent money to Liberia and campaigned against the passage of the referendum. We fought to defeat the referendum. And here is my problem. The passage of this dual citizenship law created 3 categories of Liberian citizens. Natural-born Liberian citizens who own the whole Liberian citizenship, naturalized Liberian citizens, and Liberian citizens who were born in Liberia but now hold other country citizenship, which are the dual citizens. And that was the question I was asking Manuel Wetty, and he kept dancing around because we had that conversation before. The Liberian Constitution, when it talks about Liberian, it talks about it's presumed natural born and naturalized. So it talks about that. And the only distinction, like you rightfully said, between natural born and naturalized is the presidency and the vice presidency. So my cousin from Guinea can be anything but president or vice president in the Republic of Liberia. He can be anything besides president and vice president. I, Geroba Sissekoya, who was born in Liberia, by virtue of the fact now that they passed this dual citizenship law, that put restriction on what dual citizens can be. I now can be certain things less than my cousin I came from Guinea and naturalized in Liberia. Because I cannot be finance minister. But my cousin I came from Wambodiki can be finance minister. Wambodiki can be defense minister. I cannot be defense minister. So if the push, the nexus of this push has been about jobs, we always use that one lady as the test case that went and said, yes, I'm an American citizen, and the confirmation hearing ended. But yet we accept a law that further limits us. I think we so much so have been having so much defeats that we wanted one victory. And we got one victory, and so we ran with it. And I'm not going to begrudge anybody for that because I know they did a lot of work. Trust me, the kind of work Emmanuel Wetty has been doing, I can't do half of that. I can't. That man, and you see here, just as I disagree with him here, as I disagree with him, and backdoor, and he will always take, he's one dude you will push against him, he will listen to you, and if you think it makes sense, you will change. So I think, to answer your question, yes, it's very worth it of a celebration. There's a lot of people that put money into this thing. A lot of people have put the time into this thing. I see George Toto and go Liberia back and forth, leave their families here and go talk to people. And yes, absolutely, yes, 100% I will buy a ticket to support them because this is my way of saying thank you for not giving up on this. But do I still have reservation on the finished product? Yeah, of course I have reservation on the finished product. But I don't think that should take away from the need to celebrate people who have put 12 years and more into this work. And
the man, there's an comment I hike, man. But that's a very good point. Since you're rich, you know, it comes to the natural law Liberia and the
just so you know, I get Coca-Cola phone. I heard you laughing at me. I get no Coca-Cola phone.
But since
this thing you said,
I want to echo your point a little bit so you can come back. The point you raised about naturalization.
That
was one of the issues that were being addressed long time. Most of the time, when that issue was addressed, they say it was an immigration issue. That every country have the immigration law and naturalization are part of the immigration process. You know, compared to other countries, so the advocates were down to go and change the immigration law of Liberia. You know.
Okay, Koto, is there the celebration? The dual citizenship was. Do you have any position?
Well, thank you so much. So, my position is, I was in America and did the same thing as a citizen. Maybe the only difference is paying visa fees. And well, that something has to be, celebrated, because at least
You can go, a big difference there. You can go and vote, Waka or Cummings, whoever you want to vote for, George Weah.
I used to go vote.
Okay.
so nothing changed. But that is also a big thing, because sometimes when something not written, when it's not written, you never know when it comes, against you.
Right.
And so those are the main things, but nothing different actually that I can say is this big. But we want to say, we're thankful for the process, because I was part of the Imaya Yato group.
Oh, see, you see it?
So I'm asking.
Oh.
So the Yato's group.
Okay, I told you that you people that were compete again.
We were the
Well, was some triggering bizarre disclosure here this evening here.
Oh,
man.
yeah, that's not. I don't have, for me, anything I partake in, I don't deny it. We were there pushing that. And the thing about it, people want to take glory. And if we fought on the same thing, if I took this branch and brought it this distance, and you came and took it from this distance and push it, that's the work, because the work is moving from one step to another. So we all did the work. But sometimes certain group just want to take the glory. It was because of me, it was because of that.
Yeah, this issue of dual citizenship is highly political. It's a big political issue. Now, do we need to know people that are for, against in both houses of government? We need to know these people's positions. So do we know who they are, what they represent, and maybe get to know more of what their own beliefs in terms of their position taken? Like Dr. Toto was just saying, Senator Prince Johnson taking out of his office and all of that. Why should these people be voting or be taking position off camera?
So here's the thing, though, and I know Emmanuel Wetty will not mind me saying this here, because even after we are I've pushed against them hard. They've made some misstep, and that's why when you ask that question, Dr. Tutu, about are they getting other political parties and other people involved, was a salient point. They made some serious missteps. I've seen Emmanuel Wetty has posted some pictures about people taking them from dual citizenship. He would take the likes of Akaras Gray and put a picture up, and other people. Well, there have been other people who've been fighting this dual citizenship battle in the House and in the Senate before Akaras Gray. Back in the day when it was not popular for Akaras Gray, when it was during early time, it was not popular for the likes of Akaras Gray, right? So there were other people who were doing the work at the time. And to Koto's point, she using physics. Work is defined as just moving one thing from one place to another. And so people who have been pushing this thing along the way, I think it leaves a bitter taste in their mouth when we come now and start thinking CDC lawmakers, which is what has been happening, and putting them up and telling them thank you and highlighting them on dual citizenship. It creates problems. Dual citizenship is highly political, and I think it would do them well if they were to try to be as much political neutral as possible. Because for me, when I saw that flyer with Akara's great picture on it, my mind went to other people who have been doing the work before Akara's great. People who, when it was not fashionable, was standing up for dual citizenship, when the likes of Akara's great was yelling and cussing during early time, right? So now when you do that, it makes me to check, okay, are you becoming political? Are you celebrating the George Weah government when he fight? There have been work laid along the way before we got to George Weah government now. When he fight, George Weah, he said when he was senator, did not even push a bill to pass dual citizenship. So we have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a reason why
I totally,
their own initiative.
I totally agree with Sissy. This is the point where people say want to take glory because they ended the job. Sometimes when some decision come out, or sometimes you want to develop some idea, it takes time for other people to perceive your suggestion at the time. It has to take sometimes initiative, discussion over and over until it takes other people's mind. That's what the whole issue was, because some people mentality about it was like, oh, these people coming to take our job. So to take that mentality out of them, that the people were not going for their job, it took time. Okay, so it took time. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my, I don't know, something wrong on my end. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
we're getting here. He getting his VP. You tell coming to the whole train. Why you say he VP the week?
The VP getting a VP.
What let me ask him who a VP. Let me bring the news.
Koto, you get news to break for us. Breaking news. The VP guy VP. And just about it during when we were in Liberia during that time, during the Afro cases, it was the time that Ellie Coker have just ran away from Liberia. And then we in Liberia advocating for dual citizenship. It was a very hard topic at that time.
As you are just for you.
How to even put the message out to people. We were talk show or radio station to the kids in the air. People don't want to hear the thing trying to say. I can one of the guy call when the talk to the guy say, I didn't put time in the hair burger here, burger. That's what they here for.
So actually, it took time. It took time. The perception was completely different.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I tell a lot of people, let's take this mentality off. When it comes to issues like this, let's not politicize it. It's just for other benefit. But if you start saying it's because this government have done this, because that government have done that, and sometimes it delays sometimes some important thing that you want to put through. So, because from the opposition, this person don't want to accept it. And it's for the benefit of all, you know.
Quickly here, there must be a lesson learned here, Dr. Toto. Obviously, you've been part of this whole thing, being in the vanguard, moving here and that. Perhaps you guys would be the perfect example in getting consultation moving forward. If they are to get through to the other part, which is another critical component in terms of having Liberian diaspora for people to be able to vote. And I saw Cece tweeting, EULA that is leading this course cannot even put in place to allow members out of state, other places, or BA divided into regions to vote. How can you even preach this here? What do you think now this group, the diaspora, non-diaspora, the dual citizenship group, moving forward to approach the component of having diasporans to vote outside of the country? What should they be watching out for? What they should be involved in, you know?
Also, one of the problems we have in EULA at that time, you know, when I do citizenship, but we did not do a comprehensive research with good empirical evidence research that we have in our head. We say, okay, we are done our research on dual citizenship of Liberia. We look at other country model, compare it. We have that document in our head to back our advocacies. They were not done that way. It was just by word or mouth advocacies because we saw the need for it. That's all. But real documentation, good research. So right now, the other country, 40, they started the red path already. They have a research committee already put together. They are working on research with good empirical evidence, peer review, articles that they research in other countries. So at the end of the day, they put all these things together and they make a good comprehensive report to the Liberian, to the dual citizenship community in Liberia. This is why the other country voted, because you talk about other country voting now, we will compare, contrast. Other country, for example, Guinea, our neighboring country, Guinea in Liberia voted during the presidential election, and our government provided security for them at the autonomous stadium. Guinea went and voted there. So why we cannot do the city? So the model that the Guineans using, that's a research model where the community can look at that model and see how to bring it to Liberia and how the Liberian government can support it by the process. So I think the right path. But before then, it wasn't only was just by word of mouth. I thought to say we say here, we say yeah, that go for it. This that. And Emmanuel Weti just was trying to address or say a question. He said that compare the state of Israel, that no other country except Israel. And I carried that for long. You know what? I went into a research conference and I brought that out. I was debunked. Definitely swallow the word. I
said it because I didn't want to argue with him.
Yeah. Also, the Liberia Study Association is a standard It's a very shallow organization. Their annual conference, there was a presentation made by this girl from the UK, very sound for the London School of Economics. She was giving a good report. And I asked that question about Israel. That girl went back and she debunked me. Israel, that law, so that says what they keep carrying. So these are some of the problems that we had. It was just sweet in our mouth. Because we feel that was need for it, but now I think maybe they learn lesson that too. They say
there's a lesson learned from that.
So now they say that before we come to the other country voting, now they do a good research. That's what they're doing right now.
But on that thing though, I get it that they're doing research, but let me just put a little anecdotal evidence out here. I pushed back in the chat room against that out of country thing, and I was trying to provide some data. And I was told to contact Chairman Sia to give him information. I'm saying, okay, it's good. I mean, I know Yula, I know Chairman Sia, I know everybody. But what happens to other people who got research data, evidence, and they want to give it, but they don't know Yula? Why don't you create a data dump site somewhere where people can throw things for you, so you don't have these 5-6 people sitting down and the only research you're doing is what these 5-6 people know. You have a data dump site where people from everywhere can throw stuff in there that has to do with this thing, and you can have, but they still don't have that.
So then it's fair to say, Dr. Toto, based on your point, I'm not sure whether there was an extensive inclusion in the sense of diasporan community to get people view their dissatisfaction, their agreement, their forms, X, Y, Z. They just pick up one mentor and they say, this is what we're going for. Disregarded people, other people views their opinion, that it doesn't matter. As long as you're not part of it, you can't be a commentator in that conversation.
No,
that was part of the problem.
And also, people opinion were respected. The problem that Citizenship made, would they have any kind of site or what was it? Okay, people that fall again, throw your point into the data. If you get data, throw it to the place, would they have it? As I said, when I talk to your folks, I said it wasn't this sound sweet in the ear. Oh, I like it at 4A because all you do, you want to hold 2 passport. That's all. It's also about the job business. People just want to hold 2 passport, Bora. Go from place to place. That's all. So these are things what I already done in the past. But thank God, it happened that. So the lesson learned that said that's a very good important thing. I think what after do they still listen to the show that research company they talk about the other countries. We need to open a database site that where people can go through some data or information have other countries voting. I think that's a very good point.
We use as a reference. Well, guys, what a great night here. Tomorrow we're going to be back here. All things considered. We are hearing Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka is gradually closing in to get his pick. Nyombli Kanga creating in Bikiana. I'm not sure what was the strategy behind that to build and solidify her political base. These are the people. We don't know yet. Anybody, let's hear from Koto. You talk to those folks back there. I don't know. That phone sounded like Ambassador Boyka ringtone. I know that very well. Are they closing in? What is the name filtering in here with Ambassador Boyka pick? Guys, anybody want to make a decision?
The decision is Ambassador Boyka's, But I want to give
some of his supporters, some of his talking.
I just want to give what you're talking. That's not what concerning me right now. I just want to give my girl, Yomli Kanga Lawrence, a big thanks.
For what?
Because just imagine we have a president that have not united her people. His people, rather, sorry. He has not united his people. But this is a lady in Grand Bassa. That was a united musical concept they have. Everybody was invited. Everyone was invited. In fact, all of the leaders there, and I mean, it was Grand Bassa.
What, they invited?
She didn't say the president? Party. No.
They invited the president?
All the officials were invited according to the names that were calling there because I followed the program.
It's a united.
The president and Liberian youth. They were only inviting Liberian youth.
And it wasn't only Liberian youth. It was all the sectors were represented.
So,
Yes.
MC, what is it? MC
Carol was there.
MC Carol was there. And they invited a rabbi to go sing, but the rabbi didn't want to go sing in my own country. They tried to hunt me down, Mr. Lion Man. They invited Mr. Lion Man.
Guys, let's end it up here.
Okay, so
they want to take all the titles. And the guy said they didn't want for him to come and take the title from them.
Because someone listening to me. But here's the case. On my tabata, I put it in the chat room. They didn't realize that the president renominated this lady, Edwina Collins.
I saw it.
Came back to the same position that the last time she went and perjured herself in front of the Brent Senate for. How somebody show up the first time? The lady who was nominated
I said, what is the basis of that?
So that's a type of the president. I don't know what's
happening. She went there and perjured herself. She went there and gave documents that were proven to be false. She got the likes of Martin Collins to come out and just destroy her, right? Now you go back again and you renominate this lady for what? Are there no other citizens that are qualified to take this position for the next how many months that's left over? Yeah. What the Liberal can say,
you have a president. You have a president that have ministers or directors or whoever are in position that have not put out a good output and they are stay in position. Because I think that's what leader does. You give people, high position based on their output. But if I had a man in a position and I'm not giving food of it, the next thing is to change. That's why people, do carry on change. Yeah. All right. Or relocate or reshuffle,
Sese.
Yeah.
Any information from your guy when is he getting to his decision-making point as well?
Oh, very soon, very soon. The political party will be making a decision very soon. We give enough time for the Liberian people to be able to see the candidate, quiz the candidate, interact with the candidate before we move forward to general elections.
Dr. Toto, very soon is relative.
You know what everybody behaving? Everybody behaving like
spoke about that.
Everybody behaving like what happened to us when during the 1990s.
Politician in the house, politician on the screen, all of them, they are just politicians.
We went early campus, were in a bus. And the students, they didn't want to come down. The faculty, they didn't want to come down. We always sitting in the bus. All the politicians.
Thank you so much for your time. So we will be back here tomorrow, all things considered, right here on the Diasporan Informative News, Liberia Public Radio. Sister Goya, senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, Scala, based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Koto Balayan, Yala Balayan in the Garden City. And of course, our own Dr. George Toto. Guys, thank you so much for your time. And hopefully, by God's willing, we'll be back here at the same time, same station. And to all our viewers, listeners across the globe, right here in the USA, Liberia, thank you so much for sharing this evening with us. Your comments, your tweet, your participation, and the time spent with us is great. And this is how we discuss here, make it fair, balanced, proportional. All must be held accountable. EULA is celebrating what I call a carnival of the dual citizenship. You heard the leaders, they were here. And we hope to have this sort of conversations. We are hearing a huge delegation that is expected from Liberia to grace this occasion in Philadelphia. So hopefully they will make themselves available to all of these major news networks in the diaspora to have more conversations, what they believe and what they want to see happening. Before we go, let's take this quick commercial commitment and I'll be right back.
Soyons sensibles, tout le monde sera admis, même le dernier de la classe.
sûr, tout le monde sera admis, même le dernier de la classe.
From the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, want to interrupt this interlude of music to bring you this obituary announcement from our obituary photo of the Liberia Public Radio. The late Honorable Moses B. Kangbe Sr. passed away on February the 15th, 2023 in Wettleboro, New Jersey, United States of America. He was 70 years old. The late Moses Kangbe was born December 28, 1953, to the union of Mrs. Yau Kangbe and Mr. Zul Kangbe in Kanglit, Babli District, Lower Nema County, Republic of Liberia. He leaves his wife widowed, Mrs. Rachel Z. Kangbe, 14 children, 26 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, his brothers, sisters, and hosts of relatives and friends in Liberia, USA, Europe, and other parts of the world. The late Moses B. Kangbe Sr. wakekeeping is expected on Friday, March 10, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Wettleboro, New Jersey, United States of America. Viewing of the body is at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Service starts at 10 a.m. Eastern in Wettleboro, New Jersey, United States of America. The mortal of the late Moses B. Kangbe Sr. is expected to be flown in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Wakekeeping in Liberia is March 22nd, 2023, followed by funeral service and interment in Kanglit, Nema County, Republic of Liberia. This announcement was brought into Liberia Public Radio by Mr. Moses M. Kangbe, called and on behalf of the family.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business.
government, it did not meet your core values?
I resigned. Before I resigned, I issued a 13-page press statement. It's on the internet. If you check, you'll find it. And then the president subsequently called me back into government because at that time, she had sent all the cabinet ministers home for 2 weeks compulsory leave. I was one of those that she called back. And I said, no, I'm not coming back into your government because what I believe you will do is not what you are doing. This country went into civil conflict and over 300,000 people were killed because of bad governance. And I see the same thing
happening,
being done by you. The same thing is happening.
That's why you told the president?
Yes, in a conversation with her. And I said, thank you, but I'm not coming back to the government. Anything good in Liberia. Louis Brown was National Security Advisor to Charles Taylor, man. That was the time I was tortured.
This seems to me ANC now.
Let them be redeeming themselves. They laid the foundation for the suffering that is happening today. No. It's not in good faith. Isn't it the same Louis Brown who said to President Salif, Kennedy president, that no one since 1847 has so desecrated the executive mansion equal to President Kennedy, Ellen Johnson Salif. It was not even a month after he was appointed to be Minister of Information for that same President Salif. And he was propagating everything. When he was asked by the journalist, he said, you know, when you are far from President Salif, you see a bad woman. When you come close to her, you see a good person. That sounded very opportunistic to me.
For being here, and especially in these difficult times, I thank the Liberian people for their kind attention. All over this country, in every village and town, across every region and community, from mosques to churches, from markets to schools, from prisons to hospitals, across all political parties, ministries, agencies, and institutions of the government, no Liberian needs me to tell them that things are bad and only getting worse.
Hearing then in their own words, politicians very calculative and strategic in making their decisions or comments, holding them accountable to their own word. That was a couple of months back, a campaign with dire suffering, apparently died premature death. We are now being driven into different political talking points. Well, we are hearing the former vice president is gradually in his decision-making process to get his running mate. Who could that person be? How is the conversation ongoing within the bellwether of the Unity Party? Massive preparations in the making. We are hearing potentially it will be announced in Bangabong County. Or the venue could be changed. We are waiting to see it. Unity partisans and Liberians on their heel. Alice Cummings of the Alternative National Congress, ANC, as well. The both groups adopting what I call a wait-and-see attitude and see the name that's going to be thrown out there and how it will be embraced by Liberians in and out. Well, the president, the incumbent, President George Weah, is already ahead of the game by maintaining Vice President Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor. We are waiting to see who's going to be the pick of the vice president. As some of the talking heads of the vice president are outraged and going ballistic of the delayed on the part of the vice president. They are threatened to even go after him. So would that be done sooner than later? We don't know the date yet. The date was set. Apparently, it was postponed, putting finishing touches together. We'll keep you posted, updated. We will wait and see. Nyomli Kanga, the senator out of Grand Bassa County, is looking so confident. What was the rationale of hosting the huge conference in her own city of Grand Bassa County, which is also crucial to the process? Is that part of the strategy to solidify her political base? What? I don't know. We will wait and see. Until then, I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to thank you so much for sharing your evening to your morning to your afternoon. If you are in Liberia, we say thank you for joining us right here in the USA, Europe, Asia, other parts of the world. Your comments, your tweet always help us to do what we are doing. If you have your business here in the USA, in Liberia, to whatever it is, let us know. There's a way we will figure it out. When there's no way, we will find it out to showcase your business. Before we take from you, we want to give back. Let us run our services to you and you give us what you have. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening. By God's willing, same time, same stations on this network. I will be back here with the analysts. All of them have their political pick, and part of that is to keep the conversation proportional. We are still waiting to get word from the ruling establishment. Saint Professor Asisi Laboza left this panelist, picking up a new assignment as superintendent of the Moravia Consolidated School System. We are wish out to CDC national leadership inside Liberia, right here in the US, to have a proxy so that the conversation can be balanced. We're still waiting and keeping it. Until then, have a pleasant evening, and I will be back here in another fresh editions of All Things Considered from Wednesday to Wednesday as we dive into the political talking heads in Liberia, where the Musu Glorious Scott syndrome has taken over the airwaves, where we know what exactly happens in that compound. Jerome Varda needs to come out to be crystal clear and be honest with his country. Whatever evidence that he proclaimed, as he needs to get it out there to investigators. If he doesn't trust the investigators, the international community, do not just throw a red meat and walk back. His credibility is on the line, and not just only his credibility, but the credibility of the very institution. He presided over a consequential institution, the TRC. We will judge people in the past. We will look at Valitali and other people in the past equally. We must look at those who are making this judgment. Somebody must be able to provide answers to the investigators. We must be able to know what happens. There was no breakage. There was nothing. How that door got opened. What really happened? Someone needs to tell the investigators or tell the Liberians. I want to know. I want to know on what basis Hitler was called. There are a lot of alleged criminals or fighters proliferating all over the place. So how? What is the statistics? What is the record on hand? How many ex-fighters within the proximity of the former Chief Justice that they have gathered? So why was he called? So are we making judgment of the past history? If that's the case, then Prince Johnson and many others should not be walking free and enjoying heavy political power in the country. The justice has to be transparent, and we hope the police, they will do their due diligence. If it requires international intervention, the forensic, everything, somebody needs to be held accountable. Someone apparently witnessed that. We need to know. We cannot incite our sentiments, our emotion. Why it is true, life is involved. But we cannot, in the media industry, to incite our sentiments, our emotions, and take political line because of our own political affiliations and attachment to any of these parties. The idea, I strongly believe, every life matters. And if every life matters, all this lady who was killed or who was murdered or whatever the case, as far as we are concerned, she's no longer alive, justice needs to be served. And the police should have this executed expeditiously for the Liberian people to know. Until then, I am Alfonso Zienso, and have a pleasant evening. We'll be back here tomorrow for more programming. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
That's assembly.
We will take you to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire with this closing sound to enjoy yourself. Dance, whatever buka dance, whatever dance you're able to dance on when you fall down. Liberia Public Radio cannot be held liable. It is in your own house. It is out of our premises. So you can sue us, okay? Bye-bye.
Papa Joe Feliz. Femme dynamique de Taoubli. Je dois crier. Mais je sais, quid de moi, n'y a pas de maté à moi. Naïe Biali, présidente Gay Marie. Naïe Biali, quand. Bien meilleur noublé. Bien de moi bien. De moi bien. Fais bien, non, bien nous. Bien naïe bade. C'était d'un extraordinaire. And you can't say when you give it. The neighbor, no one you are, man, your papa. Don't tell Philip. You know, I gave me, you know, I gave me. When you have people look up, yeah. This I told you. Well, never wear blah 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 and I am here. Those are good here. Play me out here. I get me women. The way I go down where I do the move flower, you call it out. Yeah, I am under your blood in your back. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, my yeah. Well, you got the man, the chip, Docteur Payeto. And then the Bayer Bobla Company. Maybe too many Masunia. Gayachasia. I have them out.